Very good morning to my online students and offline students as well. So did you guys get a question paper? No? This is very interesting. So, but I sent the question paper online, you must have seen. Instead of giving the hard copy, they took a printout of this page, I think by mistake. And I was thinking that you must be writing your test. So, how are you? All good? So guys, I think I have asked them to take the printout of the test paper. This was a mistake. They took the printout of something else. हो जाता है. Instead of sending the message to person A, we send it to person B. Then life becomes rocking. So that is what has happened today. So we'll see. We'll start the lecture without wasting time. Let the question paper come and then you will have to solve it in front of me. It's just a practice test. So how was the content yesterday? All okay? Could you digest? Right? Today we'll use it. So all fine? All fine to my online students? Pawan, Devanshu, I can only see two of you. Sucheta, all okay? Wonderful. So, let's take employment, unemployment forward. Very good morning. So I'll test you when the question paper comes. Before that, let's continue. The question paper will come. The printout is about to come. I think they will bring it. So whenever it comes, you can distribute. To my online students, did you see the question paper? Did you take a printout? Awesome. But don't do it now. We'll do it together. So guys, yesterday we were doing this. A quick recap. In 2 minutes. So see, what did we do? We looked at job market. No, you haven't. We have just started. We looked at job market. In the job market, there are 4 things which we have to focus upon. The first is employed. We know what is employed. We know what is involuntary unemployment. But forcefully, I am made to sit at home. Voluntary means I am preparing for exam. I am doing PhD. Voluntary. Out of job market. So for example, I am above 60, etc. So I'm out of job market. Example, or children below 15 years of age, they are outside. Have you watched the video? Awesome. So these are some of the basic things. Now today, let's start with this. So please give a title. Notebook. Today we will start with the notebook, the major dictations. Some data also, but majorly today dictations in the notebook. So please open the notebook. Notebook, please. Please write. Classification of employment status based on type of work. Classification of employment status based on type of work. Very good morning, kids. Type of work. Now, as you understand that we'll slowly build the concept, no rush. So again, today's lecture will be 90% technical in nature, 10% theory, but 90% technical. And the remaining lecture of employment, unemployment would be absolutely normal. But today also we will build some concepts. So what are we doing, guys? Read the title that you have given. देखिए अच्छे से. Please read it again. Classification of employment status based on type of work. So what type of work are you doing? Based on that, we classify your employment status into following 3 categories. We saw it yesterday, but today details. So the first is, please write, number 1, self-employment. I'll give you dictations on this. I'll explain also. Self-employment. Number 2, regular wage or salaried employment. Regular wage or salaried employment. Third, casual labor. Now please give a title, self-employment. Self-employment. Now guys, So as you can see, it says that based on the type of work you are doing. So what type of work are you? Are you working for yourself? Are you working for somebody else in a stable manner? Or are you working for somebody else for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month contract, etc.? So basically there are three types, three ways in which you can work. So either you work for yourself fully, or you work for somebody else on the payroll means salaried, regular wages, every month you get salary. Or third could be that you are working for somebody on a construction site, let's say for 1 month, 2 months, etc., and done, that's it. Or you are an interior decorator, interior designer. So that is based on contract, that for 3 months I will beautify the house, etc., and then done. So that is called as casual labor. So there are three categories basically, but if UPSC will ask you a question to define all these terms, and if you write that you work for yourself, you are called self-employed, UPSC will not be too happy. Because as I told you, these topics are technical and they are looking for specific type of terms, some specific terms, some specific definitions. So what is the meaning of? Thank you. So, so for example, the first is self, so we'll get the question paper in 15 minutes, we'll solve it. But first let's continue because we have started. So guys, those of you who joined a little late, so idea today was that in the first 10 minutes we wanted to start with the test, but then instead of test paper got something else, another paper. So some printout came, the previous handout ka printout came. So that's why we couldn't start the test today. So we'll do the test in 15 minutes. We are going to get the copies. But for my online students, they are smiling. They are saying we already have the copies. We have the answers also, right? And hence we decided to continue with this. In between or towards the end, we'll have the test. Let's continue. So guys, on the basis of work, and you understand that we'll slowly build the concept. Keep absorbing. Yesterday your performance was fantastic. Today also keep absorbing. You'll do well. So there are three ways in which you can work. Either you work for yourself, you work for somebody else in a stable manner, or third is casual labor. But see, there are many new things which have happened, interesting things. Have a look at the board. So see, what is the meaning of self-employment? There is a certain way of defining it. See, there are two types of sectors in the economy. First is called agriculture, second is called non-agriculture. So there are two ways of writing it. Some people write it like this. You don't need to write. I'll tell you how to do it. So either they call it agriculture and NAL, non-agriculture. Right, so this is one way of writing, agriculture and everything else. On one hand agriculture, on the other hand everything else. So agriculture and other sectors. If you combine everything, it becomes economy. Now there is another way, farm. Farm means agriculture, and this one is called non-farm. So there are two ways of writing it. So in the newspaper, in your question paper, you can find either of them. So it is called as agriculture is one sector and every other sector is kept separately in a group, like industry and services here, industry, services, etc. here. So similarly, farm means agriculture, here it is non-farm. This is how it is kept. So now, how do you define this? Look carefully, bacho. How do you define this? You define self-employment by saying that suppose there is a person who works in own farm, which means if you are working in terms of agriculture, then you are working for yourself, right? So Pankaj towards the end, question towards the end, all question towards the end. So you work for yourself in your farm or non-farm activity. So either you have your own business which is non-agricultural, or you have your own farm, you have a field where you are working for your own farming. So either you are a farmer, you are working for yourself, or you have another business where also you are working for yourself. So that is called own farm or non-farm activity. These two terms will be searched by the examiner in your answer if you are writing what is the meaning of self-employment, which means what did we do? Iska shortcut jugaad is this: own farm plus NF. So in your data book entry, what are you going to write? You will write it like this, that work is divided into three parts. Same method, you will write something like this. Work, you can open your data book by the way and see how easy it will become. So here you can write self-employment. Self-employment will be equal to own farm plus NF. This is how you can write. Own farm plus NF. Easy? Own farm plus non-farm, right? So own farm plus non-farm. So that's the meaning of self-employment. Write it, please, write it. Step by step we have to learn, huh? Slowly. Own farm plus non-farm, which means you're working for yourself. But then, you see what is mentioned? Autonomy, which is what is so special about it, which will not be available elsewhere. Autonomy means you decide, you are the master. You decide whether you want to work today, you don't want to work today, how you want to work, how many hours, what should be the quality of your product, totally your call. Nobody can interfere, right? So here we will write autonomy, right? You can write it, autonomy. Just the keywords. This is how you maintain the data, autonomy. Come back, please. By the way, have you picked up the style of learning now in the class? Even if it's your like second or third lecture, have you understood how we are going about the things? So we are focusing on exam type of points, right? So knowledge is okay. We are focusing on knowledge also. But the way we are dealing with the concepts is specific type of focus, which is exam oriented, which means words are important, phrases are important, wherever for applicable formulas are important. So we are making it slightly technical in nature as well as non-technical. Wherever whatever is required, we are doing that. This is actually the UPSC syllabus. This is how you are supposed to prepare for UPSC. So whatever we are doing in the class, don't think that it is either extra or it is less. Now it's absolutely optimal. This is how examiner will test you. So these keywords are very crucial, right? So you must have noticed that first we do keywords, we do little bit of warm up in every concept, and then we go deeper into it and perform the surgery, right? So first is this only, this warm up exercise, own farm and non-farm, and then autonomy. Now let's come back without wasting time. Wow, what's this? There's a new box. This box never existed before, right? So we didn't know where to fit this, what to do, etc. So we had no idea about all this earlier. So for example, if you look at the last year's content that I gave also, this box, there was one term from here, but gig economy was there, but majorly this was not there. Why? I'll tell you the reason. Because this year, when I was going through some documents, I found that something new has happened already. See, this is World Economic Forum. And the World Economic Forum officially gave a definition of gig economy. That's your gig economy, World Economic Forum. And then that's the economic survey of this year. This is this year's economic survey. I deliberately took the page number also, page 341. If you look at this year's economic survey, here's your answer. What is gig economy by Government of India for the first time? A proper definition by Government of India. Since the proper definition came, last year I gave the definition, but that definition was international definition. This year I am changing the definition because now we have a definition, right? So that's your definition now, new definition, which is slightly different compared to what world is following. So since we are writing UPSC, we will use our definition. Ab dekho. Suppose you are studying some other content, you are reading, watching other videos, etc. Now you will compare that, but something else is given somewhere. Ha, theek hai, something else is international. This is UPSC. Don't do that, right? And don't compare these notes with anybody else. I'm telling you this. This is the proof. I'm telling you that these things are different in India. That's your international definition. And this is precisely what I did last year. Something like this. But this year, we can't do that. We have our own definition. Now see, it says, a marked shift in the employment scenario has led to rise of gig economy. It encompasses. Now we have components of gig economy in India. And one strange component which the government has done is freelancers have been included inside gig economy, whereas in Europe, freelancers are kept separate. And they have, European Union has entire list of things. European Union says gig is different, freelancing is different. They are similar but different. India says, no, they are all same. For us, freelancer is also gig. So we are not going into the confusion part, etc., because we are not following the European syllabus. We are following the Indian syllabus. For us, this is gig economy. I'm going to explain each and everything from here, right? So please do not study online, etc., for this, because the definition online is different. So that's one of the motivations that I thought we'll do it a little more seriously this time. And then you have this report. You have this report by Niti Aayog. So this report of Niti Aayog also gives us some idea. The name of the report, it says, India's booming gig platform economy, perspectives and recommendations on future of work. So that's a report by Niti Aayog, and then you have economic survey. So there are two documents using which we are going to study gig economy. So it's slightly different this time because of this. And then there is something interesting, which is this. There are some numbers which the government of India has given us. We have to examine these numbers, and after we do the analysis, discussions, etc., then we can write our notes and question answer, because these things can be very well asked in the exam. All right, so these things are important. Now let's come back and do it properly. Now see guys, So the first thing that we understood is there is something called as self-employment. What is self-employment? Self-employment means own farm plus non-farm, where you have the autonomy to perform your job. Nobody tells you what to do. But then the government of India said that the nature of self-employment in India is changing. Wow, nature is changing. Why? Because earlier people used to open a grocery store and say, I'm self-employed. People used to start a small factory of tomato ketchup and they used to say, this is my factory, I'm self-employed. And somebody is, performing farming activity in their own field. That's self-employment. So this was the concept earlier. But now the government of India is saying that there are some problems in the economy. Number of factories are less, number of people are more. The skill level is also not very high. Mind you, the skill level is not very high. Structural unemployment. Requirement of skill is this, but our skill level is this. Our skilled population is less than 5%. Less than 5% is the skill level in India. So now the government of India realized that since people do not have awesome skill levels, everybody is not that fortunate, and plus the number of factories also little less, more services are there, and service doesn't require too many people. Service says, I have a limitation. One computer, only one person can work. That's the limitation of a computer. So government of India says that the nature of the job market is evolving. We must recognize it. So what is that recognition? The recognition is this. So the government of India is saying that unique feature of self-employment in India is called gig workers or gig economy. Now what is gig economy? Gig economy is something which doesn't fit the conventional work. Conventional work would mean that, for example, you have a certain skill set and you applied for a job. You are there on the payroll and you get your monthly salary. You are associated with the company for a very long time, long-term relationship, and you are looking for something concrete. Right. But in the gig economy, in the gig economy, the government of India has recognized these 4 components. So government is saying either you are a platform worker, I'll tell you what is this, or you are a non-platform worker, or you are a freelancer, or you are a creative technology related talent. If you are either of these, then in India you will be called as a gig worker. Now what is a gig worker? See, so for example, platform worker, what is a platform worker? Example. So let's say that you talk about a mobile app called as Swiggy, Zomato, or Urban Company. Right, so I would prefer to take Urban Company as an example. It gives me an idea about platform as well as non-platform. So you know that festivals are coming. We want to get our homes cleaned, etc., right? So cleaning is going on, or some, plumbing work is supposed to be done, carpentry work is supposed to be done. You have to fix lights on Diwali. How do you do that? Example. So you can call Urban Company and say, can I get one electrician, please? So that company will say, okay, I'm sending the electrician, this will be the charge. They will do the visit, they will take 100 rupees, 200 rupees, do the job and leave. This is called as platform worker. So what is the platform worker doing? Platform worker is not there to foster long-term relationship with us. Platform worker says that I am available on demand. You make a phone call, you use the mobile app, demand, the person will be available, complete the job and leave. Are you expecting somebody with very high level of professional skill, with a lot of degrees in the hand from some skill training institute to come as gig workers? Of course not. So in terms of gig workers, who are the people who are coming? Those who are trained in the job, not necessarily having degrees. They know how to do a particular job, but they are not extremely, people with extreme talent, etc. People with normal talent, maybe having a degree, mostly not having a degree. So they are the ones who will come and help you on demand. And their rates are also not very high. So the rates that they will charge is normal. So for example, let's say that you call Urban Company and tell them that I have to file one PIL, right, in the court, public interest litigation. Now Urban Company will say that, yes, we have a lawyer, you can consult the lawyer. Lawyer will charge you 500 rupees. They will advise. Initially, Urban Company, when they started, they used to do this. They used to provide legal services also for 200 rupees. You used to call them and tell them that I have to sign one rent agreement with my landlord, 200 rupees, they used to provide the service. But if you go to a top-notch lawyer of a High Court or Supreme Court, try going there and talking to them for half an hour. You will come back with empty account. No balance in your account, trust me on this. Because for example, I was reading this in the newspaper that, top-notch lawyers like Mr. Kapil Sibal, etc. Some report came. For 1 hour, they charge you 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees. Half an hour, in fact, he charges 5 lakh rupees just to talk. Just to listen to you, they will charge you 5 lakh rupees. They have gained that expertise. They are that experts. So they are saying that we will, because we have worked almost like 40 years, we have gained knowledge, so why not? That is their rate. So do you expect Mr. Kapil Sibal to become a gig worker? You will not find him on Urban Clap. Earlier it was called Urban Clap, now it's called Urban Company. You will not find Mr. Kapil Sibal on Urban Company giving his legal services. So who are the people who will find there? Maybe somebody who's an intern, somebody who is trying the hand, somebody who is very new. So which means that gig platform necessarily does not have only those people who have zero skill. It can have people with different skill sets. That's what the economic survey says, that it can have people with different skill sets, but they might not have a degree, but they know how to do their job in normal fashion. Not experts, but normal fashion. Right. So that's your platform worker. Now suppose I stay in a locality called as Karol Bagh area. Listen to it carefully. I stay in a locality called as Karol Bagh area. Diwali is coming, I want to fix the lights. But I don't want to use Urban Company platform, because I don't want to use mobile, etc. app, because I don't trust the people, because I haven't seen them. I don't know who will come. And safety security is an issue. What will I do? I will go to the security person in my area, the person who is in charge of the entire security, etc. And they are there since very long. I know them. I'll ask them, do you have any phone numbers of an electrician? Right. So what will he say? He will say, yeah, I have 2-3 phone numbers. You can take it. So I'll take one phone number, make a phone call. And I'll say that, you, Mr. Electrician, I have got your phone number. I have heard you are good. So can you come to my place? He will say, yes, sir, 200 rupees visiting charge. I'll say, done. What is this? Same thing which happened in Urban Company through a mobile app, right, Harsh? Same thing which happened through a mobile app. Now it is happening without mobile app, which means offline, through phone. Again, on demand, but through phone. This is called as non-platform. So platform would mean that you are using some kind of mobile app, internet, etc. And non-platform would mean offline, through offline mode. It is also on demand, but through phone call, by meeting people, by going to a certain store. There can be one store which is selling the electricity appliances. I can go there and ask them, do you have an electrician? That is called offline mode. That is also gig workers. So guys, if somebody tells you, or you are reading an article where it is mentioned that gig workers only mean that they do not have skill or they have basic skills, well, in general true, but they can have certain higher level skill also, and yet they are performing gigs. So it is also possible. There is no hard and fast boundary for gig workers, right? So for example, I can give you an example. So I remember that, when I was in college, I remember long time back, at that time this mobile app, etc. Through mobile app, these services were not in fashion. So what used to happen was, there was a very good musician at that time. So one of my friend wanted to learn some musical instrument, but he was not able to go anywhere, etc. So what he did was, through some contacts, he made a phone call. He found out that there is one person in the locality who knows how to play, let's say, a guitar or a harmonium, etc. So he called that person and said that, can you train me? So he had no idea whom he was calling. So my friend had no idea whom he was calling. So the other person said, yeah, I can train you. So my friend said that, how much is your charge, etc., fee and all. He said, for 1 hour, 5,000 rupees. My friend was laughing. He said, come on. I mean, he started to bargain. He had no idea who the other party was. Other party was already sort of in Delhi circles. He was a famous musician. So, but part time he used to train, etc., etc. So what happened is, here, this is also an example of gig worker. I won't go into more details there. I can't tell you the name of that musician. He might feel bad. So what happened is, in this case, the person who is going to train my friend is a sort of a celebrity in the field of music, in the local circuits. He is very experienced. He has huge amount of skill, very skilled guy, yet gig worker. So see, gig workers can be having normal skill also, medium skill also, and slightly better skill also. So whenever I read in newspapers or some article that gig workers have absolutely basic and low level skill, that's not correct. That's not correct at all. Technically, they can have better skill also. And this type of question can be asked in prelims, right? So be careful about it. So your platform worker is through online and this is offline, but the level of skill can vary. High, medium, low. In general, low to medium. Exception, high also, possible. Now, freelancer. Abhi, this is different. So what is a freelancer? Till last year, India was following a different definition. India used to say freelancers are also different, gigs are different. This year, government said, no, sub same. Everything is same. Amazing. I had to change my entire course. I had to change entire slides. So now what is a freelancer? Let me explain to you. Think about it. I'm giving you a situation, guys. Imagine that all of us, and by the way, I mean, it's not a very happy day today because we lost somebody who is an epic, and I used to take his example and name in the class so much, Mr. Ratan Tata. Now, when this news came, no, seriously, I mean, for a few seconds, I kept on cross-checking from every source that, is it really possible? He was 86, no? Yeah, he was 80. This was not the time to leave the world, because we need more of people like Mr. Tata. And yesterday, I remember that I had a GS class. So, I was telling this in one of the classes. I was teaching the class, and I was telling them that I was teaching infrastructure. So I was telling them that wish Mr. Tata was more healthy and younger, then Air India would not have suffered what it is suffering currently. And I was also telling you quite a few things like this yesterday, that wish Mr. Tata was more healthy in his prime, because when he was in his prime and he was handling the Tata affairs, the things were slightly different. He used to keep things under control, check. His quality was impeccable. But of late, he was not keeping well. And when the biggest mentor and the backbone of the company is not keeping well, you see the effect in output and outcome as well. Atal Setu, road not doing well, bridge not doing well. So if Mr. Tata would have been fine, I mean, things would have been so different. He is the one who challenged the automobile sector in the world. So somebody insulted him in his prime, saying that, what will India do? You Indian, what will you do in automobile? So there's a very nice story about him, and he also verified the story is true. He went abroad once to buy one spare part of an automobile. Somebody insulted him. Like, what did he do? He ended up buying the entire company. Right, yeah. And then the most premium brand of the vehicles, he started to buy them one by one. And he had no qualms about it. When somebody asked him recently that, why did you do it? Straight away he said, because I felt that the insult to India was not required. So I thought, let me make them Indian. So he was so bold in his approach, everything. So once it was asked to him that, why India took so many years to build, automobile sector so strong? And immediately he says, without thinking, he says that, I wish I had the kind of support which I wanted long time back. I would have converted India into automobile hub almost 60 years back. So he said that so at that time, he said at that time what happened is, when you are very young, when you are dynamic, when you go to big people and tell them, I want to do this, people don't trust you. And they tell you, what will you do? You are so young, 21, 22 years old. So he said, I learned this lesson in my life, that when somebody young with lot of inexperience comes in front of you, respect them more, because you never know what kind of talent they will have. Very few people understand this, let me tell you this, because I remember, like, I've been to so many people since college days, etc., for different type of conversations. And one thing which I felt which is bad about the world is, nobody respects you when you are too young. Even if you are very creative now, they will look at you, your economic condition, your degrees, or nothing than your age. And if nothing, your gender. And then they will tell you that, what will you do? Go and have some experience. First learn, etc., etc. But Mr. Tata was different. That's why a huge number of companies, he was the angel investor in huge number of companies. Because he said, I had faced it. So I know how it feels. So amazing guy. I mean, it's a big loss for the country. I didn't want to talk about it because genuinely somewhere something, hurt, because seeing him leave the world was like, so I don't know how I will use his example, but I will, because he's a legend. So I will use his examples the way I used to earlier also. And I wish our country has more of Mr. Tatas. So guys, what is freelancer? So let me explain to you. Yes, let me explain to you what is the meaning of freelancer. Listen to the story carefully and try to see the important points. Now see guys, imagine that I create an IT company where I'm trying to create softwares for the aviation industry. I'm trying to create software for aviation industry. Now imagine that all of you are experts in IT, you know coding, you are programmers, and you are the best of programmers, but you have not joined a company. You decided that when a company like me, I will call you and tell you that, hey, I am developing a software, but my own team in the company is not good enough. They know everything, but my team, whatever team I have in the company, maybe they don't know those things which you know. And I have read about you on internet that you guys are experts in this type of coding. You know a certain language of computer in which you have an expertise in your domain. But people who are working with me in my company, my friends and my colleagues, we partners have started the company. I have partners in the company. We are not aware of these things that you are aware. So I will call you and tell you that, can you please join my company? on my payroll, on salary, you will say no. Then I will tell you that, can you please take up my project for next 3 months? You will say that I have to see what kind of project is this. And then you will ask for the details. I will show you that, okay, this is the software my team is working on. You have to assist my team. So then you will examine, you will talk to my team members, and if you feel like, you will say, okay, done. And the moment you join my team, now you are not replacing anybody. You are complementing my team. Because if you replace, then you are causing unemployment for somebody. So that you are not doing. Freelancers don't replace anyone. Freelancers complement the already going job or a new job which is about to start. So what will you do? You will become a part of my team. So there are, let's say, 3 people in my team, me and 2 more people. You will also become a part, the 4th member. But you will be there for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months or 6 months. Why? Because your job in my company is not to come for one day and deliver pizza. Your job is to come here and make sure that the project takes off well. And you have to contribute consistently for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Sometimes what happens is, the freelancers get so attached to the company, the freelancing task they have taken, they feel like being a part of it. And then there is a good chemistry and bond between the owner of the company and the freelancer. And there might be a 2-year, 3-year contract. That, okay, for next 2 years, 3 years, you will please work for me, right? That is also one of the things, absolutely. Or there can be another thing, that many a times the freelancers, they join for 3 months, extend it to 6 months, and then they permanently join the job in that company itself, because they are also looking for stability. Wait, what? What did we say? Freelancers are looking for stability and gig workers are not. Absolutely. Gig workers are looking for cash and sustainable livelihood, and for that they will work 5 hours. So I'm a gig worker. Sometimes I'll work for Zomato, sometimes I'll work for Swiggy. Half a day I work for Zomato, half a day Swiggy, and at night I drive Ola. Gig worker. Same guy performing 3 jobs. That's gig. But if I'm a freelancer, I'm into software, what am I looking into? I'm a freelancer. I'm slightly different compared to these two. What is the different mindset? And the engagement period. Here the engagement period is quick. 1 day, 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 day, 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 2 days, 1 week. But here the engagement period is long, and these people are looking for stable projects. Projects with stability. So that tomorrow, like today I'll bring you in my company and tomorrow, thank you so much, not required. Nah, this doesn't happen. So these people look for slightly long-term, medium-term stability, and they also look for sustainability in future. They are looking for future prospects. So if they feel that their mentality matches with the owner of the project, etc., they might tell that I want to work with you. Is it possible for next 5 years, 2 years, or permanently? These are the people who become the employees of the company down the line if everything is fine. But these are the people who don't want to become the employees of the company. I'll give an example. So suppose I'm driving my Ola, but I know that nobody calls for Ola early morning. Early morning there is not much demand. So I'll become a Swiggy and the Zomato delivery guy. And I feel that my income will be maximized based on that. And plus, why am I here? Mostly because I don't have any specific super talented skill like freelancers. Freelancers are having very precise, high level skill, specific skill. That is why they are in demand. And when I don't have these qualities, I become these. So that's the difference. And what is this? Creative technology talent. This is something new which the government of India has put here. So this directly fits here. But even I did not understand what was the need to keep it separate, and then something struck me that, oh, that's the reason. Because now today I'm going to teach you something which I'll show you in 1 second. So there is something called as AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all these things. Nobel Prize Physics, right? Jeffrey and John. They have won the Nobel Prize in Physics for artificial intelligence and machine learning. Machine learning leads to artificial intelligence. Today only, newspaper, it came in the newspaper early morning. At least I read it today morning itself. 2 people have won Nobel Prize in Physics this year, and they have worked extensively in the field of machine learning, which led to artificial intelligence. One is Jeffrey and one is John, these 2 people individually. Yesterday, all right. So, normally I read newspaper with 1 day gap. The reason being that almost like whole day since morning classes. So, yesterday's newspaper I'll read today. So, guys, creative learning, huh? So, see, creative technology talent means there is a new breed of people who are coming, who are super talented in something which the world wants. What is that talent? See, talent can be anywhere. Engineering, medical, non-medical, history, economics, anywhere. The point is different. This is related to evolving technology. Technology which is not there since very long, but technology which is changing every day. So government is recognizing this, and government says, since there is certain type of technology like machine learning, artificial intelligence, data analysis, these type of technologies didn't exist earlier. So it's evolving, it's changing every day, new dimensions are added. So it is not possible that anybody who is working in the field of engineering since last 30 years will all of a sudden become an expert in that. So for that, what will happen? Mostly what we have observed in the society is youngsters who are in the young age group. Normally what we have seen is these are the youngsters like you become an expert in these kind of evolving technology, and you don't prefer to join a stable company because maybe they are not understanding what you are doing. And maybe that company does not have a department which promotes this, because not everybody will understand what you are doing. So then what you do is, you get your expertise in machine learning, artificial intelligence and data analysis, and suppose somebody from Government of India, like let's say that Indian Army or Defense, Ministry of Defense calls you and tells you, beta, we are doing this, we are developing a new missile where we have to put some new features which will make sure that the targeting of the missile is very precise with zero defect in that. Absolutely precise targeting, and for that we need machine learning and we need artificial intelligence to be used there. Now, what will Government of India do? Government of India knows that there is nobody who is having 30 years of experience in AI, because 30 years back there was no AI. So what does Government of India do? Government of India looks for some people who are experts in that, maybe in a college, a university, or somebody who is a freelancer. So then Government of India will call you and tell you, beta, what are you doing? You will say, I'm a gig worker, I can help you. Government says, yeah, I know your name is there on the internet everywhere, that you have helped so many companies, Microsoft, Google, etc., etc. So you will say, yes, I can help you, government. So government will ask you that, are you a freelancer? You will tell them, I am a freelancer of a specific type, which is technology related. Hence, those who are freelancers here, but in cutting edge technology, which is evolving every day, they are called as creative technology talent. So they are basically them only, but they are domain experts in the cutting edge technology, which evolves and changes almost rapidly. But here I can be an expert in animation. Animation 20 years back also people used to know. So I can be expert in animation, I'll be a freelancer. I know how to create websites, I'm a freelancer. But machine learning, artificial intelligence, drone and robotics, that's your creative technology talent. So basically, from here only a certain section is taken out and government says that's your creative talent. This is the difference. Now let me show you about them. So it says, today we'll do it little deeply. It says fourth industrial revolution, called as technological revolution. And here comes your artificial intelligence, and here comes your IMF. What has IMF said about it? What's the good side and the bad side of artificial intelligence? What has Government of India done to promote artificial intelligence? Because we haven't done enough. And the entire world is saying that India is missing the bus. They are saying, India, you are far behind. Maybe it might be possible that you will miss the bus if you don't act now. So what has Government of India done? These two were very basic efforts, but this looks little better. So Government of India has come up with something called as India AI mission in that context only. And then for that, Government of India has launched this entire thing. This is your India AI mission, which normally we do it in science and tech. But I believe that since we are doing this topic, we should be doing it in the class itself. So that's your India AI mission, which we will have to do little properly in the class. And why is it important? Because currently there are people who are experts in AI, which are called as gig workers. Because many companies or most of the companies in India don't have a permanent vacancy for AI workers. Well, what will they do? How will you use them? They have no idea. So I am the manufacturer of this pen. How will I use AI in this? I don't know. I don't have the vision. I have no idea. So what will the Government of India do? Government of India is saying that I am creating a mission. Till the time AI becomes permanent feature of the economy, the people who are experts in AI, I am going to call them as gig workers. That's what the government is doing, which means next year, the definition of gig worker might change. But currently this is gig economy. So now let's go back. So I told you guys that this chapter is required formulas, it requires some kind of expertise. It also requires some kind of storytelling and speaking. So guys, if somebody will ask you now that I'll give you a nice dictation on this, don't worry about it. And I'll read your comment very soon. So let me first, I don't want to miss out on any point. So first, let me speak on this entire story, based on the current affairs. So what is this? Self-employment. How are we going to write it? We don't write. Self-employment would mean that you are doing your own farm and non-farm activities, plus you have autonomy. And then what is the new addition to the self-employment? It's called gig workers. What are the components? Platform, non-platform, freelancer, creative. And whatever I spoke here, I'm going to dictate it to you. You'll understand this. Let's come here also. Let's complete because these are easy things. Read it, please. What does it say? Here you work for your own farm and non-farm. And here you work in others. So what will you write in your data book? What will you write here? See, it says other. So we will pick this word other. So we will write others, farm plus non-farm. See the difference? Just replace the word own with others and that's it. There is no headache here. Now this can be part-time or full-time. Part-time or full-time. Now, if you are working for somebody, you understand that there are shifts. If you work in a factory or you work in some service industry for 8 hours, that is called full-time. If you work for half a day, 4 hours, that is called half-time, part-time. So you can work part-time, you can work full-time, and you can get regular salaries. Regular salary, monthly salary, yes, thank you. Please distribute it. So thank you so much. So either you can work part-time or you can work full-time. These are the features of salaried people. Okay, is it fine? Now next one is this, casual. Casual. Let's read it. What is written in casual? Guys, just like yesterday, your focus required. What is written in the casual? Don't slow down, don't be lazy. You are smart kids. Others, farm and non-farm, which means whatever we wrote here. See, others, farm plus non-farm. Same thing we are going to write here also. See, exactly same thing. Others, farm plus non-farm. See, same. Take it, same. Then what's the difference? The difference here is that it's either daily wage earners. So I work in a construction site, daily wage earner. So for example, on daily basis, I can be taking wages, or I have a contract with a construction site. They have hired me for 6 months and they said in 6 months, the building will be complete. So they will pay me monthly for 6 months. There also, I am casual labor because only 6 months it will be over. So, but I have a certain arrangement with them where I will come every day, I will work for certain number of hours, I'll work according to them, I have to do this. I might be having 0 degree, no education, complete illiterate, but I might be having some skills related to plumbing, carpentry, etc. and I might be hired here. So what is it saying? It says daily or periodic work contract. So I will have a contract with them that I have to come and perform this job. But in gig workers, that contract is not necessary. So for example, I work for Swiggy. What will I do? Every morning from 9 to 10 a.m., I will open my mobile app. I'm a Swiggy delivery agent. So I'll open my mobile app and I will accept orders and I will deliver the food. At 10 a.m. I'll close it because there is no contract with Swiggy that I have to keep it open. So I work according to my choice, my wish. Similarly, I'm Ola driver. So around, let's say 2 p.m. in the afternoon, I will open my Ola app and whosoever books ride with me, I'll give them the ride and then I'll close my app. Totally my wish. Company cannot say anything to me because it is written that there is no contract which binds me to work for certain number of hours for Ola, Uber or Swiggy or Zomato. Here there is a contract. Here they are saying that you have to come because the construction site opens at, let's say 9 a.m. in the morning, 9 to 6 the work goes on, construction. So I have to tell them beforehand that how many hours I will be available and then they will tell me that no, we need you for these number of hours. So there will be an agreement. That's your casual labor. So under casual labor, what is the difference between gig and casual labor? Gig is completely flexible. You are the boss of your own world. But in contract, in casual, there is certain decorum that you have to maintain. You have to go by the rules that they also set, which means in sense of absolute freedom, you don't have it. But here you have almost absolute freedom of doing things. You want to sleep, you want to sit at home, do it, nobody will question, nobody will even call you. But here they will keep calling you and they will tell you, beta, you didn't come today. You are supposed to come and then only I'll give you your daily wages. So please come, which means that this is work in others, daily, periodic or work contract will be there. But here, that contract is not necessary. Only in one case there will be a contract, freelancer. In case of freelancer, there will be a contract. The contract might be for 1 day, might be for 2 days, might be for 6 months, might be for 2 years. But there is a contract. That's why I was telling you that even I did not understand what was the need for the government to put freelancers here, because normally till last year, the government never put freelancer here. I was surprised. Even I taught it last year and I told everybody according to the Europe formula that freelancers are different, and you see the nature that it's actually different because there is a contract. In freelancing, there is a contract. You are looking for long-term stability. You are maintaining decorum also because you are working for a company now. But these people don't work for the company in conventional sense. But freelancers are different. Freelancers resemble that actually. So ideally, when I talk about freelancers, I used to tell them that they resemble casual workers. So, but I don't know. I mean, government put it here. I have no clue why they would do it, because I still believe that freelancers should have been kept out of the box, because their nature is different from gig workers. I don't see a person who is expert in animation being equal to person who is driving Ola, because that Ola person can switch off the app and sleep. Animation person cannot, because certain tasks are given to them that today I want this project from you and you have to work. You can't simply switch off your phone, because company will call you and tell you, Beta, what are you doing? You are a freelancer for me. I need the result today. Send me one sample. But in Ola, you can switch off and say, I'm not in mood to work. That's the problem, right? Wow, very nice. So one of your offline friend has become online today. What happened, VS? All good? Looks like you woke up just now, right? Yes, he says yes, very honest. So, welcome to the class. Those of you who just joined. CP, when did you join? Obviously, Manas, how are you? All good? Wonderful. Who else is there? Rest, I saw everyone. Rajan, I saw. PB, I saw you. PP, I saw you. Ayush, you also joined little late. Shivangi, you also joined little late? Okay. No, it's not about pages. I was showing one page only, but I was speaking since very long. So you have to rewind and you have to watch that video. Okay, come back, because this required a little bit of speaking, and this also required me to tell you that it's not very clear this time. Something messy has happened. Freelancer, I don't feel like teaching freelancer here, but I have to, because economic survey has said it is economic survey, can't do it. So freelancer is here, but I don't feel it looks like gig worker, but it's okay. For exam, we have to. So that's your casual worker. I told you, casual worker ka example I told you, that here you are bound by company rules. Here you are not bound by company rules. I can give you one logic of keeping freelancers here. Can I give that logic, which is separate from casual labor? Because these questions can be asked in UPSC. One logic, see. Suppose that you are the boss of a company, you hired me and you said, Beta, please create one video for me, animation video for promotion, your company. Or you told me that you please create a website, you are good in websites, you create it for me. I will tell you, okay, how much time do I have? You will say 1 month. In 1 month you create a website. I am a freelancer. So I will say that what is the daily target you want from me? So you told me that daily you have to send me one section of the website, daily. So today home page. So I'll say, okay, fine, thank you. Then what do? I keep the phone and then I sleep. I know I am damn good in my job. At 5 p.m. in the evening, I'll wake up, just like VS woke up just now. And instead of being in the class, he is in his room. And he is still rubbing his eyes. Where am I? Right? So, now I know what will motivate you. If I start teaching you that topic which you were telling yesterday, I know you'll be motivated and come in the class. Right? Care economy. So, guys, yes. So, see, everybody recognizes, everybody saying, Acha, he's that person. All right, come back, guys. So see, so guys, come back, please. So at 5 p.m. in the evening, I'm damn good in my job. All of a sudden, I wake up, I take my laptop in 5 minutes, cut, home page done. And then I send it to the boss and I tell them, check the home page. Boss says, wow, you have worked very hard today. I'll say, yeah, I worked very hard from morning till now. I was just doing great hard work. I could afford it. Why? Because I'm good in one thing, and that's the job I'm doing. So I can sleep whole day, I can wake up 5 minutes, I'll do it and done. So guys, that's your freelancing. So you're not supposed to report to anybody on an hourly basis. Oh, I'm doing this, lunchtime, no lunchtime. I said, come on, you don't need to do it. You know you have to give the target at the end of the day, you do it and simply get away with that. Here you can't do that. So for example, you are a construction worker. Can you tell your boss, how much of wall do you want today? The boss says like 6 feet wall. Then you tell them I'm sleeping, wake me in the evening at 5 p.m. I'll give you wall. What kind of wall it will be? Wall will fall off in one blow of air only. Right? So that's the difference. That's why it is gig. So I wanted to show you all the sides basically, which can be asked in the exam to confuse you. So now we have all the sides in front of us open. So guys, let's write. Let's make some notes.
So why did government include platform and non-platform in freelancers?
यहाँ पे देखो freelancers mostly, as I told you that they are so skilled. Example Kapil Sibal. So for example, people or somebody who is almost like Kapil Sibal, not exactly him. But normally they are not available online on mobile apps. So for example, if I know that I am very good in coding, you will not find me on Urban Company. You will find me having a separate web page where I will put all my work and I'll tell you that these are the things I have done. So if you want to look for me, either you look at the page and see the sample, but you need to have a meeting with me.
That's what I'm saying. One of my friends, software, whatever he knows a page where a user of
Possible. Then it is called as platform worker. But I told you, that's what I was telling you, that these two should be different. In fact, this should be taken out from here. Because if you're talking about them in a separate way,
but they are charging too high.
That's fine. That's what I'm telling you now, that if you put them here and you have a platform worker also, which means that now you are saying that every platform worker is under gig, but there are many people here who don't work as gig, who take 3-year contract, 4-year contract, they charge heavily and they have super specific skills, but by definition gig workers don't have super specific skills. That was my objection to this, that even if I try very hard, I can't convince myself that they can be under the gig.
Where does YouTubers and singers?
Depends what they are doing. So for example, let's say that if you are taking the service of a YouTuber for a small task, a very small task, let's say that you told some YouTuber that, advertise for me. And then that depends on what type of advertisement you want. One-time advertisement, maybe platform. And if you want, I'll just give one example, everybody you can understand, because these things though is never ending. So one example I'll explain, you use the same funda. So for example, I will give the example of YouTuber, vlogging, photography, etc. Everything will fit there. So let's say you are taking the service of a YouTuber who is not very famous, etc. and you are telling them just one-time gig, advertise me, I'm an author, etc. So what will they do? They'll help you. You contact them through platform, as he's saying that there are some platforms available where 5-6 YouTubers will be there, their address, links. So that will be platform then. But suppose that you are hiring them for, let's say, 3 months, 4 months and all, 5 months on a project that you have to push one video for me every day. As some people do it, one video for me every day. Marketing companies, they come here freelancers. But if you are hiring a marketing company with cutting edge technology, it's like they are going to use artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analysis, heavy things for you, then they are called as creative technology. Essentially, this is this only. And essentially, the difference between these two will be the time period for which you involve them. This is extremely short. It can be hourly, daily, max 1 or 2 days. This would be slightly longer. And there, the engagement will be slightly deeper, where there is a scope that if you work with them once, you might like to work with them multiple times and on a long-term basis. But there are people who are saying, I don't want to work on long-term basis. Today I'm working for you, tomorrow for you, tomorrow for you, tomorrow, then you are here. So the line is very thin actually. It's very thin line. And case to case it will change. So precise definitions in the form of a table, not possible. Else I would have been the first one to draw a table. Like I taught you yesterday, CWS plus J, CWS minus J. These are the things I love doing because it makes life super easy. Here you can't do that. It's next to impossible to do it. So for every case it will, like he was telling about it, so it's different.
So what is the time period for this creative technology?
Nothing fixed. That's what I was telling you. There is no time period, there is no definition. The only thing that you have to use here is little bit of pointers by the government. That I gave you one pointer repeatedly, that creative technology, which means cutting edge, which evolves almost every day. And I gave you example of machine learning and artificial intelligence. But then I also gave you an example, like he said YouTuber. YouTube technology doesn't evolve every day. So though they are using technology, but they don't fit here because that's not cutting edge. But suppose somebody writes a code for YouTube, cutting edge. No. Not possible, because these things are so dynamic in nature that it's sometimes impossible to assign a particular time period. Because this is social science, no? That's the difference between physics and social science. So I'll give one example where government tried to give a time period and it looked so horrible. You remember I taught you something called Annual Survey of Industries, where the government of India said, if you have electricity, right? So if, absolutely, if you have electricity and you have more than 20 workers, then you are organized. Chalo, let me give you an example. I have a factory with 19 workers and electricity. I'm not organized. Government tried to give a time period and a number. See what happened. Sorry, more than 10. So what happened in that case? More than 20 is without electricity. So more than 10 and I have, let's say, electricity. But suppose that I have 5 workers in my factory and I'm using electricity. Finished. Then I'm not organized according to government and government will not come to my factory. Because I told you 10 is a significant number, so government goes only to those factories with 10 workers and electricity. But does that mean that having 9 workers is not significant? According to what definition? These are some of the problems in social sciences which will always remain unresolved. Similarly, Government of India says anybody having less than, let's say, 27 rupees expenditure every day on various things, they are poor. Less than 27 rupees poor. Acha, which means that if I'm exactly 27, I'm rich. Right? See the problem in the cutoff. So that's why government is not putting any numbers here, because till the time this component is fixed and stable, we can't put a number. But the day these components are finalized, it changes every year. The day it is finalized, then government will put a number. So please write. Sorry? Acha, batao, what did I tell you? Remind me, I'll help you. What are the things I said? AI, okay, what else did I say? I used 2 words like 100 times. What are the 2 words? And what is cutting edge, I told you? No. So what did I? Absolutely correct. I repeated one word multiple times and I said that these are the words you have to use in the exam. The technology which evolves every day, evolves so much that today it's different, tomorrow it might change completely. That's your technology. And then I gave you example also. Like he said YouTube. I told you as well that YouTube doesn't change every day. But suppose that somebody writes code for YouTube and writes a better code and says I'll completely revamp YouTube. So the people behind YouTube can be cutting edge, but YouTube itself is not cutting edge because YouTube is the end product. It doesn't change. YouTube, which I was as a child looking at YouTube, same YouTube today also. So there's a difference. What? If a person earns from what will he, where will he fit? So you decide. For example, let's say that you are making videos or you are making music, etc. Think about it. You argue, I'll help you. Because if I argue, I'll become good in it. You argue, you'll become good. Tell me. What are you doing on YouTube? No, depends what you do. What are you doing on YouTube? Imagine you are doing something on YouTube. What are you doing? Blogging? Blogging about what? So his inner desires are coming in front of us now. Now we know where he was yesterday. Right? So your friend was absent because he was doing food vlog. That's what I wanted to know, where you were yesterday. All right, so he was food vlogging. Focus here. So food vlogging. So suppose that you are doing food vlogging, and are you earning something through advertisements or are you blogging for some cafes, specific cafes? YouTube only, monetizing through YouTube videos. Then you are either a freelancer, because then your job is not fixed. So how do food bloggers work? What they do actually is they go to different cafes and street food, etc., and they tell those people that can I shoot a video, because right to privacy, you can't simply shoot anybody without informing and having a contract. A verbal contract is also a legal contract. So when you go to a cafe and tell them, or a person who is a street vendor, that can I shoot you, what you are doing, etc., it's a verbal contract. And then he tells you that, okay, shoot only this part, you shoot only that part. So which means that now you have become a freelancer, right? And whole day you will shoot like 4 or 5 videos, because there is a contract now. And here there is no contract. Here there is a contract, right? But there is an exception. I would have told about this towards the end, but it's okay. And that's where social science comes. Let's say, okay, Pankaj has something to say. Let's take his example. So let's say freelancers are 11 friends working together, then are they counted as organized or unorganized? I haven't taught yet. How can you ask a question on things which I haven't taught, right? Because there will be a certain way in which I will teach you organized and unorganized. That I reserve for the next lecture. So Pankaj, today we'll only do this. We'll do stepwise, no jumping. because the definition of organized and unorganized is slightly tricky in India. Pankaj, come on camera first. It would be good to see you while I answer the question. So anybody asking question, you have to come on camera, so that I can also see you. And PB, I responded to your mail yesterday. I think you'll get the solution very soon. So whatever you wrote now, you'll get the solution. I have contacted Vajiram, they'll definitely help you. No problem. Contract must be honored, absolutely. Yes. Fine, come back, guy. I never knew that you guys are so interested in food blogging and all. Very nice. So guys, let's write the definition. Chalo, let's go and write. First, self-employment. You must have given the title. Likhe, please write. Okay, no problem. No, it's fine, Pankaj. If you are in office, totally fine. It's okay. So, you are attending the lecture. That's a good thing for me. So, because live lecturing, etc., seeing you guys in the class motivates also. Self-employment, please write that it is defined. It is defined in the sense. Yes, MS, correct. It is defined in the sense that the workers work in their own farm. Workers work in their own farm and non-farm activity. In their own farm and non-farm activity. Own farm and non-farm activity. The workers enjoy autonomy related to their work. The workers enjoy autonomy related to their work. The government has also included, there comes your current affairs, guys. The government has also included gig workers under self-employment. Gig workers currently includes, mind you, next year it might change. Gig workers currently includes number A, platform workers, number B, non-platform workers, number C, freelancers, and number D, creative technology talent. I will explain this more elaborately after we complete this part first, because this is one question. So let's prepare one question. Now please give a title. Number 2, regular wage or salaried employment. Number 2, regular wage or salaried employment. Regular wage or salaried employment. Irregular wage or salaried employment. So I'll tell you something very funny. I doesn't fit here in the class, but I thought I'll share this with you. So what happened is, I have a cousin, a real story. So I remember that almost like 5 years back. 5 years back, he cracked MBBS exam. He secured a seat for himself. Now look at his story. He goes there, he takes admission. He starts his classes. All of a sudden he returns. Right? Everybody thought that he's having some holiday, etc. And then he tells the family that we all got to know about it. He called us also. He called me also. He said, I'm back. I said, why? He said, I was not enjoying it. I say, enjoy? What is there to enjoy? You have to learn and practice. He said, no, I'm not enjoying. And maybe I don't know which movie he was watching. So he was not enjoying, perhaps was 3 Idiots too many times. So he said, I'm not enjoying. Then I said, what are you doing? He said, that I will think. He left his seat. He was not even paying the fee in the college after that. He was not participating in anything. Started to get call from the college and everything. Huge drama happened in the family. We all were party to it. And later on, finally, we found out that he wants to become a photographer. And he became a photographer. And we all thought that gone, finished, career finished, life finished. And currently he is in France shooting for the government of France. So that's interesting, isn't it? So got to know recently only, he texted, he said that, I'm there shooting, etc., etc., etc. And exactly, that's what I said, that sometimes, these movie things that you see, it also becomes true. And we were ridiculing, we were saying, what are you doing? You have destroyed your life and a seat for somebody who would have got that seat instead of you. You wasted a medical seat. Literally everybody abused him, including his professors. So, and yet what he did is he said photography, photography, photography. And he did that, and finally, parallelly, he has two channels. One is for photography and one is food vlogging. And he has almost like getting close to 1 million followers in the food blogging field. I don't follow all these things, so I had no idea. Recently only we met again and I asked him, what are you doing, etc. And he told me, these are the things. In a very humble way, he said, no, just reaching 1 million. I said, 1 million? How is it possible? Like, what food are you promoting these days? So got to know that he comes to Karol Bagh also with his team. I had no idea. So if I have to find out which food is good in Karol Bagh, I have to now go to his vlogging and I have to say, Acha, this food is good. So the only thing which he told me to keep a secret was, because he's managing that blog with his girlfriend, so he said, don't tell it to anybody in the family, otherwise they will bash me, they will put me out, they will disown me. So I'm not supposed to tell it to anybody in the family, but amazing food blog he has got. So what is the name? So let it become official, then their status, then perhaps I can. But it's a very known food blog. So I'll tell you something which I wanted to share with you guys. So many times what happens is, these type of ideas will come to your mind. And if for example, you have a younger sibling and all, and they tell you, we don't want to study, don't push them. Because you are motivated, you are preparing for UPSC. Not everybody is motivated for UPSC. So don't try to force your ideas to them and tell them that, hey, I am studying, that's the best thing to do. Come on, it's good for you. Something else is good for them. So because you said food blog, so got reminded of food blogging. So, but if you want to know which street food or which cafe to go for what purpose, which food is good there, etc., etc., on and off, maybe once in a while you can ask me, I'll give you the suggestions by looking at that blog. Right? That I can tell you. One of our friends said, moonlighting job will be. Moonlighting is, first of all, depends, it is legal or illegal. Many companies say that they don't allow moonlighting. So there is a question of legality there. And most of the companies where you work as regular or wage employed here, they don't allow moonlighting. Some companies might. So if they allow you to moonlight, then you might become a freelancer, because why would you moonlight unless you have some specific talent, etc. I have never seen somebody who is working on a regular payroll, etc., and maybe acting like a plumber or carpenter or running Ola business. No. So what they do is, mostly people from here moonlight, and they mostly switch either here or here. That is mostly what I have seen. But there is a very thin line between, I told you, this and this. Very thin line, just a matter of talent and duration. So somebody from here might moonlight like this also. So really, I mean, it's very difficult. We'll see after all this. You remind me once we do all this dictation. So example of moonlighting I can give you, later on you tell me the definition. Example could be, I'm working for you in your company, and then parallelly I'm working for somebody else also after my office hours. Right. So it's like you are engaged to somebody else and you are having coffee dates with somebody else. Abhi samajh gaya? Awesome. Very nice. Look at you. Look at VS. He's nodding 5 times. How are you, iPad? You look better. Good. Very nice. So good to see you back. I do night shifts sometimes in a hospital when I run out of pocket money, called as moonlighting. Yes, why not? Yes. Come back, please. We'll come to moonlighting later, but let's complete this. So please write regular wage or salaried employment. Likhe, please write that under this, the worker works in others' farm plus non-farm activity. Worker works in others' farm and non-farm activity for wages. Wages means salaries on a regular basis. For wages on a regular basis. It can be done on a part-time basis. It can be done on a part-time basis or full-time basis. Or full-time basis. Now put a full stop and please write. Third, casual labor. Casual labor. Casual labor. Please give a title, guys. Casual labor. Please write. They work, casual labor, they work in others' farm, and non-farm activity. Others' farm and non-farm activity. They use either daily or periodic work contract. They use either daily or periodic work contract. Periodic work contract. Put a full stop, please. Now a borderline case which cannot be explained unless one has explained all this. A borderline case for you. I'm going to give one example. Now don't be confused. Listen to the example carefully in the right context. And I told you that Government of India currently has not given precise definitions of this, which means if you are looking for one line definition which fits every case, not available. I will give you definitions of this, don't worry, but precise definition by government not available. Why? Because government itself is changing the components. So I give you one example which will confuse us to the core. That example is this, and from that example we'll conclude something awesome. That example is, now imagine guys that I have gone into, we're using the example of a cafe only. So suppose that somebody is building a cafe, and suppose that I am an electrician and I'm very good in my job. So what did I do? I went to that cafe and the cafe wala person told me that, sir, can you electrify my whole cafe and put all the modern lights, everything automated. I said, yes, I can put automated systems and switches. I can fix the circuits in such a way that once you do something like this, lights will start to glow in your cafe, etc. All these things, magical things. I'm going to do it. So that person told me, how much time do you need? I said, give me a day. 1 day. So that person said, will you do this job? I said, of course I will. Technologically, I am very good. I am very sound. I have huge experience also. I am very known person also in my area as an electrician. My charges are also decent, very high charges. Normally people charge 200 rupees for a visit. I charge 500 rupees for a visit. That's also high. So I complete. So what happens is I start my work at around, let's say 9 a.m. in the morning. And I told them that by the end of the day, when you shut down your cafe, you keep working in your cafe and I will change the electrical fittings. By 10 p.m. I'll do it. Work starts at 9 a.m. in the morning, 10 p.m. finished. So now what happens is 9 a.m. I come, and after every hour, the owner keeps on coming to me and tells me, how is the work going? I'll, what my response will be. Focus on your work, let me work. By 10 p.m. your job will be done, don't disturb. The person says, but I have a contract with you for today, you have to do this job. I will say, yeah, we have a contract, but I'm a freelancer. So that person tells me, no, you are a casual laborer because you have 1 day contract with me, daily or periodic. Then I tell the person, no, I'm a freelancer. The person tells me, you are a non-platform worker because I called you through phone. Then I tell him, no, I'm a freelancer. He tells me, no, you are casual laborer. Who am I? I'm gig. I'm gig. These are all gig. A certain section from here can also become gig. That's the thing which Government of India wrote in the budget, in the economic survey. That's why I didn't give you a definition of gig. Did you notice? I didn't make you write anything because I had to tell you this part. So how has the government defined? That's the beauty. How has the government defined gig workers? Very interesting. So I'm telling you this, all these things we didn't do last year because this confusion was not there. Last year it was so simple. Government said, you know, we don't have a definition of gig, use the European definition. Easy. But now Government of India is saying we have a definition. Indian things are tropical country related things. Very emotional, intelligent, lazy and smart. So, and very complicated. Oh, Suganya, I can see you there. Very nice. So 2 days you were in the class, 1 day you are Gaib also. Very nice. So yesterday she was a salaried person, today she is a gig worker. Right? So did you understand the difference? Now guys, remember the example that I told you, right? Acha, no, very honest. She says, I also woke up late. You are studying, I understand. That's why it's happening. It's okay, fine. So guys, come back please. I gave you a borderline case just to tell you what the government has done. So which means that I can be a person who is an electrician. Ayush, are you with me or sleeping? Ah, good. Come back. So guys, focus like yesterday please, because now we have come to a technical part. So I'm a worker, I'm an electrician who is very good in the job, and I'm very famous also in my area. I'm charging high fees also, and I have 1 day contract, which means I have told this cafe owner, I told you in law, a verbal contract, oral contract is also a legal contract. So yes, I have an oral contract with the cafe that yes, I'm going to finish your job by 10 p.m. in the evening. So I'm a casual worker. But then I'm telling that person, don't disturb me on hourly basis. So person says, of course I will because you are casual. Then I tell the person, no boss, I'm not your casual worker, I'm gig worker. Which means I don't want any permanency with you. I am here only to do the job in a certain number of hours. Give me that freedom, I need autonomy. Autonomy. So the person says, no, but we have 1 hour contract. Now we are confused. So we'll Google it. We'll Google what is the definition of gig, what is the definition of casual, and then we are confused. Why? Because there is one borderline case which fits in both. This is that case. I can tell you 20 other cases which fits both. So what has the Government of India done? Very smart. Government of India is now saying that anybody who is not looking for, guys, focus on the definition. Don't write, just focus. I'll give you the definition at the right time. So government says generic definition. Generic, mind you, and for UPSC generic. So government says that anybody who is not looking for permanency or stability in the sense of long term, which means more than 1 year. Anybody who is not looking for permanency or stability, and that person has normal to good skill. You don't need to be exceptional. You have normal skill, good skill in your job, but you want autonomy. You want to do the work on your own terms. You might be self-employed or you might be a casual worker. Both these categories can have gig elements inside them. So if you want autonomy here, you will be called as gig because you are not going for a permanent job in the cafe. You are contract worker also, but you are saying, no, I don't need you to interfere in my job. I am on contract with you, but I need my full autonomy. I will work according to my choice. That by 10 p.m. in the evening, I will decide where to put the wirings, what to do. You told me what kind of light you want. Now please do not interfere. Don't take my attendance every hour. Which means, despite being a casual worker, I fit in the casual. There is a contract. I am working for somebody else. But I am asking for these things. I am asking for those things which looks very similar to this. So now the Government of India has said, okay, either you are self-employed, obviously you are gig. Gig is a part of self-employed. But here also, if you create the conditions in such a way which looks very similar to self-employed, then you can be called as a gig worker under casual category also. Wow. So gig workers can be here, and if the conditions are changed, which means add the word autonomy here and add the word normal talent. Like I cannot be exceptional. I'm an electrician, I know how to fix things, but I'm not that exceptional that I fit in the creative technology. I don't fit here. I'm just good in my job. That's okay. There are many people who are good in their job. That doesn't mean that you are cutting edge. So I'm good in my job, agreed. I'm famous, agreed. So I'm under contract, casual, agreed. But I said one thing, give me autonomy, don't interfere, don't disturb, which means I'm literally behaving like a gig inside casual, which is possible because now Government of India is saying it is possible. So Niti Aayog also uses the same definition. If you read the definition of Niti Aayog, I'll show you the definition. Niti Aayog says that mostly these non-platform workers whom you call through phone call or physical meeting, so either they are self-employed, non-platform, they will be called as gig. Sometimes people from here who work as casual labor also, you meet them physically or through phone call. You bring them and they will start to tell you that give me autonomy, and they behave like gigs and they are called as gigs. So if UPSC will ask you, beta, what is a gig worker? Now your definition becomes, according to this year's definition, that people from self-employment category or casual workers who work on, contracts, either, short term or medium term, with a lot of autonomy, but they are not necessarily looking for permanency and they are decent in their job, they are called as gig workers. Which means the definition does not have any formula, or a lot of preciseness is not there in the definition. I tried my best to look what Niti Aayog has done. I could not find any specific or precise definition. This is the generic definition they have given. Only one thing which I found, which is precise. Niti Aayog has said that, and this I really liked, because Niti Aayog said that for gig, you are having autonomy. This word is very important. So you are having autonomy here, and then Niti Aayog said you can have autonomy here also. And since it can be a daily contract, 1 day contract also, and in that day you can have autonomy, then Niti Aayog says, then you start to resemble this. Hence, you can be called as a gig worker here also. So, if UPSC will ask you which of the following categories can create gig workers, self-employment or casual, answer is both. This is the only new thing that we are going to write in today's dictation. Little confusing, I know, but if you focus on that autonomy part and you focus on the non-permanency part and the skill part, that skill is not out of the world. If it's out of the world, फिर तो you fit here, because that's a new category created and which changes every day, etc., etc. But if you have a skill which is okay, you can find 20 other people with the same skill, then you are not somebody who is very unique. You are not from other planet, because there are 20, 100, 1,000 other people who are good electricians. So this and this can create gigs. This is what you should understand. And I told you boundaries are very thin. So if you ask me to like give you a better definition than this, not available. And I can't give my definition because I'm not the authority. But yes, this is fine. All okay? Tell me, where?
Sir, for instance, freelancer and creative talent are here because they are not, as of now, part of actual economy.
Absolutely.
And platform worker and non-platform worker are here by the virtue of self-employment.
They are also here because they are not part of any other category, because there are only 3 categories. So they also don't fit here. They don't fit here because an Ola guy or a Swiggy guy does not have a contract.
And if there is a contract, but there is also an element of autonomy with normal skills, then they go under.
They go under here, and then under here you will call them as gig under casual. So now you have a gig under casual and you have gig under self, which means if I copy some attributes here from here and put it here, autonomy and non-permanency and a short-term contract, not a 5-year contract, short-term contract. Because here I told you freelancers have sometimes 6 months, 1 year contract also, 2 years contract also. So here also you bring those things with autonomy. Autonomy is the keyword. Then it is called. See, you are not confused. You gave the right definition. So let me read 2-3 things here, then I'll give you a dictation.
I have the doubt in casual living.
ठीक है.
Sir, let us say you are a landholder.
Okay.
Farm.
Okay.
10 biga. 10
Okay.
biga of land. There are 2 ways to hire the labor. You can
Okay.
tender me out. That is called chukata in my native. You have to harvest the wheat of 10 bigas, and you decide
Absolutely.
how you want to do it.
Correct.
Another case can be that I'll pay you daily, 500 rupees per day.
Absolutely.
In the first case,
Autonomy is there.
In the second case, autonomy is not there.
And what is the duration of the contract in the first case?
So, although duration,
Anything that comes to your mind?
5 days.
5 days. Okay. So that means that two things are same here. Guys, see what your friend is saying. Your friend said that somebody, let's say I'm a landlord and I've hired you on my field, which means you don't belong in this category first of all. This category is out because you are working for somebody, which means you belong to this category. Within this category, there can be a typical casual worker, or within this category, if you give freedom to the worker who is working on your field, you decide, I will not call you every day, I will not disturb, what seed are you using, etc. It's okay, number of work hours you decide. At the end, I need this kg of crop from you, roughly. And since this is agriculture, plus minus 10% will happen. So in that case, I am doing gigs for you. Because I am having that autonomy and I am having that liberty to decide quite a few things. 100% yes, it is possible. Because the definition says works in others, farm and non-farm. It starts with the definition, no, farm and non-farm. And this gig comes after the definition, which means it is possible in both farm and non-farm. Okay, let me read some comments. Can you scroll back? Because before I give this dictation, I want that you should have clarity. So autonomy, Harsh, what have you said? Autonomy, they will demand when decent skills they have, which is not missing. No, that's not necessary. I'll tell you something. Your friend is saying that one demands autonomy when one has decent skill. Or I can give you another case. Suppose my skill set is very mediocre, but there is no other worker available in this area. I will demand autonomy. Or I feel you are very desperate, then I demand autonomy. So when you go to these portals like, Shadi.com, Jeevansathi.com, etc., don't sound desperate. Tinder, don't sound desperate. And you'll end up with all that you feel in terms of having the payoffs. Who gave this theory? It is called as the economics of marriage. Somebody won a Nobel Prize in this. This is how these portals are actually working. If you are looking for a job, you go to a job search portal, Naukri.com. And if you go to that portal, sound too desperate in your resume, kindly give me the job. Kindly give me the job. Why? Why will you write that? And in your, for example, the opening remarks of your CV, if you write that, I am looking to change the company where I work, etc., etc., I will change the entire work culture of the company. Yes, don't sound too desperate. So when you sound too desperate, your bargaining becomes weak. And then you can't have autonomy, gone. So how do you get autonomy? Either by keeping quiet or proving that you are their best alternative. You are the first alternative, you are the last alternative. You will have your autonomy, even with bad skills. So that's one. Pankaj, what have you said? Sir, can't we just categorize them on the basis? Yeah, we can, Pankaj, but sadly this is Government of India's category. We can't change it, we have to study it. If we are doing a research, we can point out 5 mistakes and change it through a research, but since we have to reproduce this in the exam, so we won't go in that line. But I told you my reservations about this definition. I don't like this here. I don't like this here. According to me, it doesn't fit. According to me, this is bad. And I can see in future, Government of India will change this. I assure you, and I showed you the survey. That's why I had to bring the picture of the survey. Else you would not have trusted me that how can this type of messy and chaotic definition, meaningless thing can be done. That's why I deliberately brought the picture. I inserted it last night only just to show you that actually it is true and the government has done it. See, this is World Economic Forum. The definition is followed in Europe. Europe says gig workers means digital platform. That's it. They don't consider non-platform as gig workers at all. That's their definition. So they are not complete either. Now look at India's definition. It says shifting gig economy economic survey. It says it encompasses freelancers, online platform workers, self-employed, online call workers. This on-call workers are those workers, no, offline, non-platform. So all these things are included here this year itself. So confusion. Even I'm not happy about it, but it's okay. Let's get over it. So freelancers can be online and offline. Absolutely, it can be both. True. Oh, he was giving the example of online. I give you the example of offline. Freelancers can be available anywhere. So if freelancers are available online, they will be called as platform. If they are available offline, we'll say that I got you through non-platform. Your friend has given me a homework actually. This is very cute. So one of your friends, instead of asking a question, wrote differentiate between casual worker and freelancer. Homework? घर से करके आओ. This is very interesting. At least you should write something before it and after it. Right? It's like giving an instruction. Amazing, very cute. So, okay, I'll do that. I have been given a homework, let me do it. So differentiate between casual worker and freelancer. How many seconds I have to do that? Right? So this is your casual worker, which means that you work in other farms and non-farm activity, and freelancer is self-employment because you have autonomy, which means you are working for yourself. That's the difference. So, but you need to work on your skills of communication. It will help you in your interview and mains answer writing, right? So otherwise you'll enter the examination hall, the interview chamber, and you will say that, ask me questions. Don't do that. So crypto based on self, Suganya, that's different. It's a different field. So totally different. Acha, creativity. Yes, correct. Where are you? You were in camera, now you're gaib. Yes, absolutely correct. Blockchain technology is absolutely use of talent. Ek aur piche, can we go a little back? Just one or two comments and then we'll. Pankaj, I've already answered. Can we get okay, done. So now we can move on. Bolo.
Sir, although it is out of
No problem.
Sir, why government is doing this? Because the European section is saying that online they have that digital infrastructure.
Absolutely, that's your
We don't
answer.
have.
That's true. The reason is that because they have digitized themselves much before us, they have a small population and their digital presence is much more efficient. So one state of India is like one country of European Union. So that's why they can afford to say that, gig workers are online, because most of the gig workers in those countries have moved online. Otherwise, how will they make themselves available? But yes, India is a country where internet connectivity not there, sometimes mobile, and sometimes India has a different thing, culture based. What is the culture of India? So for example, if my relative tells me that plumber is very good, I don't know what that plumber is, but I will trust that person only because my relative has said this. So word of mouth is very important for it. We are an emotional country, tropical country, guys. So that's why that also matters. Abhi theek hai? So okay.
Sir, as in when freelancers and creative technology walas formalize, where should they ideally be placed? Under the casual labor.
Which one?
The freelancers and the creative tech.
Freelancers in here? No, they'll be placed here because government has said that they will be placed under self-employment only.
Even when they formalize.
Even when they formalize, because that's where my objection is, that if you are signing a contract with them, but then you should become this. But then the government of India says, no, compulsorily freelancers are here because they normally don't act as casual workers because of autonomy. They define themselves by saying that all the time freelancers will have autonomy. So they are saying that under no circumstances we will be bound by your rules. So by default also I'll have autonomy. That's why freelancers are necessarily put here. The moment freelancers can do flip-flop, sometimes autonomy, sometimes no autonomy, then freelancers can be here also. But the definition of freelancer is they enjoy full autonomy all the time.
So where they should be ideally placed in your opinion?
There should be a different category for them. I believe there should be a new category. I think beyond this there should be a category called as gig workers. Because in India we are defining gig workers very differently. Gig workers have some features of this. It's a hybrid kind of category that we are creating. So some features of this, some features of this, and there can also be a little bit of element of this also. I can work as gig on a part-time basis in a company. So if I want to design a very hybrid kind of gig, I can take some features from here, some features from here, and I can also create a borderline case here where the person will, maybe the person is on the payroll for 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, 6 years, 5 years, etc., but with autonomy. That is also possible. So you would have heard, that many a times somebody joins the board of directors of a company or the CEO, and the CEO says, I need full autonomy. Then only I'll join your company. So the CEO derives the salary and everything, but says, I need full autonomy. Matlab, here also the person is acting like a gig. And the person says, I will work with you for 2-3 years, turn around your company, make it profitable and leave you. These kind of contracts are there. So we don't call them as casual labor. We call them on payrolls, but it has tendency of gig. So if you honestly ask me, if I ever get a chance to define a gig worker, which I might someday, so I will write this. I'll write an article and I'll suggest it to the government that wo kar do there. I remember long time back, very long time back, I remember that I had given a definition of cashless India. So I had defined cashless India, and that definition was accepted by the government. It is used by many agencies these days because I was the first one to define. So whenever you are a first mover advantage, the advantage now anybody who will define it, they will have to give the credit to you because you are the first one to do it. But before me already people defined all this, so can't help. But yes, this category is there in my mind that if I ever get a chance to write a research paper on this, I might put it in a separate category here. And I might call it as a hybrid category for a country like India and say that please have different rules for gigs. I'll tell you the confusion. If you put gigs here and then you have something called labor codes, which I'll teach you in the class. So there are labor codes which are different for them, them and them. And if you say that gigs are everywhere, for which labor code applies to them? You tell me. Confusion? Because if gigs are here also, here also and here also, and you are saying that labor code applies to gig workers, which labor code applies? Meant for this one or meant for this one? Which social security will you provide them? Because ideally social security should be here. Why will I give social security for somebody who works with me for 1 day or 2 days? And then you are in the labor code saying that there should be social security for gig workers. Why? For 1 day you don't provide social security. Wow, confusion. Which means that there is no clarity. Things should be better. So if they ask you this question, what are gig workers, etc., in the end we can write that we can create a better category for gig workers to give them better social security benefits and labor laws. So you are the only one who asked this question to me, that where would I put? Right? Because I was telling you constantly that I'm not happy, but nobody was asking me that where would you put gig workers? There should be a hybrid category there with all the features. Yes.
What is the difference between part-time regular wage and periodic work contract casual labor?
See, वैसे तो I can tell you the difference, but there can be a borderline case which fits all the three. Right? But you understand the difference. Part-time would be 4 hours. According to the new laws of labor codes in India, full time would be 8 hours. Casual could be 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. But if somebody is working for 4 hours, that can be casual also, that can be part time also, because borderline case. So 4 hours half day, 8 hours full day, 3 hours casual. But I can work for 4 hours yet be in the casual category. अभी ठीक है? PhD paper लिख ले इस पे. If you ask me more questions on this, then only thing that will be left is do a PhD, by the way. So, since you guys involved me in this discussion for very long, you will have one extra class for employment. Because all the things that you asked me were totally out of exam context, but good for learning part. That's why I encouraged you that let us have this. But since you did not let me complete, you will have one extra class now related to employment. Now one person is already sleeping. Come back. So, देखो, guys, there is one thing. When I was designing this course for you, I had no idea what will come in the economic survey, what will come in the newspaper, how much of things will change actually, because how would I know this? I'm not God. But once I had all my handouts ready, everything was ready, like these kind of PPTs already ready. And then I start to see, wow, half of it changed, 3/4 changed, 20 pages changed, and then I realized, are we gone? Why? Because now your lectures will go left, right. It never goes left, it always goes right. Which means that I will call you for a few extra classes also. The reason being that these things have to be accommodated. Do you believe we can leave all this? कैसे छोड़ दें? Because UPSC might ask you to write almost a 15 marker answer on this one. How will you write it? So since we are having an interactive session where you are free to ask anything, I am free to answer, etc. So if we feel that within a stipulated time we are not able to cover it, then if I feel that we are going one lecture behind, I'll call you for extra session. This is important. Otherwise, we won't be able to complete it. We can't have interaction and yet discipline of time. Both things can't happen. So you have to give me that liberty, okay? So we will have this kind of lecture only where full interaction is there possible. I also enjoy doing this with you because I also learned it like that. But condition that every time we'll have an extended interaction. If it adds up, I will have one extra session with you to complete the syllabus also. Now let's enjoy. So I will never curtail you. It's okay, fine. Let's carry on with this. So guys, is it fine? Chalo, let's go and do the gig. That's the gig economy. So please write. Cool. Thank you so much for the liberty, Manas. Manas is saying, anyway, sir, I will come late only in the class. Manas, you were very disciplined earlier. These days, every day you are 5-10 minutes late. So be careful. Okay, before what are you saying? You will put gig workers in a separate, then will you freelance under it? Yes, definitely. I'll write freelance under gig only. And gig I'll divide it in 2 categories, one with low skill, one with super specialized skill. So I will do 2. So I will take gigs as a fourth category. I will divide gigs into two parts, platform, non-platform, and then I will say that there can be another category called as gig, which is super expertise in their domain. Oh, that's why, Manas. Okay, no problem. No problem. So I hope that you recover soon. Did I give you dictation on casual labor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Already given. So please write, define a gig economy. Here starts your exam wala point, bachcho. Define a gig economy. Explain what are gig workers. Same question. Explain what are gig workers. Discuss the components of gig workers or economy. Discuss the components of gig workers or economy. So guys, let's write it technically now. Now please write, according to, देखिए बच्चों, very important, according to Niti Aayog 2022 report. According to Niti Aayog 2022 report, India's booming gig platform, that's the name, India's booming gig platform economy, India's booming gig platform economy, please put a dash, perspectives and recommendations on the future of work, By the way, as per my experience, there are 2-3 topics where most of the time is spent in the class in a course in economics. One such topic is where I know that we will spend a lot of time, and I have a reason as well. One such topic is called balance of payments. Because one who studies balance of payments, what are the things that you have to study under there? Trade becomes a part of it, balance of payment, rate of exchange, inflation, monetary policy, everything becomes a part of balance of payment. That is called general equilibrium, which means if one thing changes in the economy, entire balance of payment will change. So if two things change in the economy, automatically balance of payment will change. So that's why when we study that topic, I know for sure that our pace will be the slowest in the class that day because the interaction will increase, and I'm open to that. So that topic I think will take a lot of time. Remaining chapters I have observed that it doesn't take much time. Employment takes time because we are not comfortable with this topic, because we don't agree to many things which the government is doing here, etc. So this is controversial topic. So this and balance of payment, it takes a lot of time. Other topics pretty fast, they are smooth. One more topic is there where if you clean up your mind and come in the class with a plain, clean mind, so it won't create a problem. That is national income accounts. So if you come in the class with blank mind, you will learn very fast. Like my last batch, they came in the class with a very blank, even though they knew it, but they came in the class with a blank mind. So their performance in balance of their performance in GDP, etc., was top notch. So similarly, I can see that in you guys. So I have made a request to you, and I see that happening already, that you never bring whatever you do other places, etc. This is a good thing because then your learning improves. So in GDP, when I start to teach you GDP and all, if you put your old learnings behind, your learning in the class will be almost 100% efficient. Follow that instruction, please. So please write, Niti Aayog, according to Niti Aayog 2022 report, India's booming gig platform economy, perspectives and recommendations on the future of work, as well as, continue writing guys, as well as budget 2024, and economic survey 2023-24, and economic survey 2023-24. A gig economy is an economic system. A gig economy is an economic system under which temporary freelance and flexible work arrangements, temporary, freelance, we have included freelance, temporary, freelance, and flexible work arrangement exists between the workers, between the workers and the customers, Change the paragraph and please write gig workers provide short-term to medium-term support and services which requires general skill sets, but permanency is not attached. In the nature of work. In budget 2024, government has also included certain high-level skills using modern technology as gig workers. Change the paragraph, please. Hence, overall, the important components of gig economy, and gig workers are as follows. Gig economy and gig workers are as follows. Number 1, please write. Platform workers. They are available on demand. In a short time through online digital platforms. Number 2, please write. Non-platform workers. They are available offline. On demand to perform certain set of tasks. Third, freelancers. Don't you find it's funny? If you do a course, let's say in Harvard, so if you look at the Harvard courses, they're available online, by the way. Whatever is being taught in a Harvard MBA program, those PPTs are available online. If you look at their courses, no, they teach there that freelancers are different, gig workers are different. So if you write this answer in Harvard, you'll get 0 marks. And if you write Harvard answer in UPSC, you will get 0 marks. Which means that when people say that knowledge is same, no, knowledge is customized based on geography and the economic condition as well, and the nature of the economy and the society. So knowledge can be different. So content is same, but their application differs. Time and space, absolutely correct. So one size fits all does not work. So for us, if you earn 27 rupees, you are okay. For USA, unless you earn 500 rupees, you are not okay. So it differs. Relativity of truth. Very nice. You guys are so mature, right? Where did you learn all this? You are watching those 60 seconds reels, how to live life, right? Office are your freelancers, please write. So guys, please write that they have means freelancers have. They have, optional, they have PSIR, no? 100%. Please write Manas. So they have some specific and specialized skill. They have some specific and specialized skill. Please put a full stop and then write. They complement a company's labor force. They complement a company's labor force. They complement a company's labor force. They develop long-term relationship with the company as well. They develop long-term relationship with the company as well. Full stop. Freelancers generally look for stability. That's the difference, Freelancers generally look for stability and consistency in work. Consistency in work. Fine. So suppose that I deliver food through Swiggy and Zomato, or I drive Ola. My mood, guys, I want to deliver the food, I will. If it rains, I will not. But if I'm developing a portal for somebody, website for somebody, it really doesn't matter how I feel, how I'm doing, because the person has told me that in 5 days they need the website. If I don't work, I won't be able to develop. I have to be consistent. Every day I have to put certain number of hours. Yes, nobody will dictate anything to me. I am free. But then I will be more consistent, because I know that if I am more consistent, output will be better and I will get more jobs and long-term contracts. That's the difference. So we have written that. Now next point, please write. See, creative technology talent. I feel so weird when I have to forcefully give a definition. Like this I would never give, but for UPSC I will. Creative technology talent. This is useless, this point. Creative technology talent. It should be included in freelancers only. Please write creative technology talent. Likhe. Ab see, how is a fake definition cooked up? See the art. So please write that these workers possess cutting edge skills in dynamic and evolving technology. In dynamic and evolving technology. In dynamic and evolving technology like ML, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data analysis. All cool? Now please put a full stop, guys. Now let me show you this part. So we have just completed this small section with a lot of current affairs, and by telling the name of the agencies. If you don't tell the name of the agencies, marks will not be given. But now we write this. Ab dekho, this will take 2 minutes. Please try to understand. Let me talk about this. We have a test also. Now, see this, guys, where our old knowledge comes us to help. Guys, yesterday we studied something called as labor force participation rate. In half a second, you tell me the definition.
Employed and involuntary unemployed
Awesome. Divided by?
divided by total working age.
Divided by?
Working age population.
Working age population. Working age population. What is the range of working age population? Years? 15 to 59. इसमें ये चीज का ध्यान रखना. You have to be careful about the denominator. Working age. देखो, see guys, it really doesn't matter what we do in the class. What matters is that whether in the exam we are able to put all these things technically in a correct manner or not. Because in the exam ultimately that only matters. So whatever we do in the class, discussion, normal discussion, fun time, light moment, all okay, everything granted. In one thing there is no exception. Like technically you can't be incorrect. You have to memorize this. And how to memorize this? Find your own method of memorizing. Just yesterday I told you that labor force participation rate would mean, and think about it, labor force participation rate would mean that unless you know who is eligible to work, how would you know that who is available for work? So that eligible to work can never be your total population. Eligible for work can only be 15 to 59. From there only you can find that who is actually available as working or currently unemployed. Is it fine? Awesome. So guys, labor force participation rate means employed plus involuntary unemployed divided by working age population. Awesome. Now look at this please. This is advanced economy and this is emerging market economy. So these days they don't call it as, underdeveloped economy, developing economy. They use a very dignified term called as emerging market economy. Matlab you are trying to emerge as developed. So when you go to New Economic Survey says, and from where is this data source? This is from IMF. IMF has said, and our economic survey is also saying the same thing. They have copied IMF report that if you go to advanced economies, roughly 1 to 4% of labor force. And now you know labor force. What is labor force? Labor force means? That's it. Employed plus unemployed. So involuntary, we know that unemployed means involuntary only. So this is employed plus unemployed. That's your labor force. So now what is there? The data says that in advanced economy, if you take the total labor force in the advanced economy, out of that 1 to 4% is gig workers. But when you come to emerging market economies, the number of gig workers are more. Take the labor force, 4 to 5%. The second thing to note here, because now you are my kids, you should note these things also. If you go to advanced economy, and that's why I keep making fun of these things in a lighter way, that for example, one state of India is equal to one country like Australia, which means if you go to advanced economy, let's say, let's pick up one advanced economy, example, South Korea. What is South? South Korea is equal to Rajasthan. So take South Korea here, let's say example, just to give you a number, let's say the population of South Korea is 10 crore. So what are we saying here? We are saying that 1% of 10 crore will be the number of gig workers, 1%, or let's say even if it's 4%, chalo 4%. So 4% of 10 crore is the gig workers here. So base is 10 crore, advanced economy. In advanced economy, the number of labor force is less. Come to India. So your labor force itself is 92 crores. 92 crores. Now in 92 crore, example, let's say that, let's take a whole number, 80 crores, example. Let's take 4% of 80 crore. 4% of 10 crore, 4% of 80 crore. Look at this. Look at the difference. Because the base is big. So there are two things here. First, the percentage is also less in advanced economies. The base is also less. And in emerging market economies, the percentage is also more. Here the percent starts from where it ends. It ends at 4, it starts at 4. And then the base is also big. So 4% of this, it's huge. So the gig economy is going to be the biggest challenge for Government of India. Hence, government is constantly creating policies for that. So these numbers we'll have to write. And then see what is mentioned here, gig workers in India. We have the 2020 figures which are official. We have some unofficial figures also available on internet, but how can we quote unofficial figures? If you Google, you'll find it, but sorry, I'm not going to use it because Niti Aayog has not said anything, Economic Survey has not said it, so I will also not use it. This is from Economic Survey. So Economic Survey this year, page 265, they have said number of gig workers in India 77 lakhs in 2020. And then it is saying that gig workers is roughly, currently, 1.5% of India's labor force is gig, currently, which is currently we look like this. Because it has started, the phenomenon has started. But then economic survey says by 2030, India will behave like a typical emerging market economy. And our gig workers will enter this zone. That is what they are saying. So what are they saying? They are saying that currently we have just started. That's why they are comparing 2020. They are saying that especially after COVID and during COVID, the gig phenomenon increased. People lost jobs. So gig phenomenon increased in India. Now they are saying that now it has become a normal thing in India. And 4.1% of our labor force will become gig by 2030. It's a huge thing. So if you know the labor force of India in 2030, if you know what is the labor force multiplied with 4.1, you will see crores of people here. Huge amount of people in gig economy. So government of India has to create policies for their social security also. We will study it under labor laws. That's what has been done. But I know for sure that you study labor laws in GS paper 2 also. So that's a part of your syllabus. In GS2 also you study labor laws. So whenever you study labor laws, you combine GS paper 2 and 3. Because only when you combine, you can write a good answer. So by GS paper 2, I mean the constitutional provisions related to labor, etc. Because labor is in the concurrent list. So these are the facts that you have to bring from GS paper 2, that labor is under which list? Union list, concurrent list, state list, etc. etc. So guys, these are the numbers that we are going to. This is the only number which is available from this year's budget and survey. Let's write it, please. Likhe, please write, bacho. Change the paragraph and please write. As per Economic Survey 24, please write, as per Economic Survey 24, and mind you, there will be a writing test, answer writing test and practice for employment and unemployment also once the chapter completes. Very crucial. So please write, as per Economic Survey 2024, it has been observed that around 1 to 4%, around 1 to 4% of labor force, 1 to 4% of labor force is gig in advanced economies, is gig, GIG, in advanced economies, whereas in EME, emerging market economies, EME, around 4 to 5%, out of labor force are gig workers, Change the paragraph, guys. Please write. As per Niti Aayog report, in 2020, India had 77 lakh gig workers. India had 77 lakh gig workers. 77 lakh gig workers, which is around 1.5% of labor force, around 1.5% of labor force. Full stop. It is expected to become 4.1% of labor force, 4.1% of labor force by 2030. Please put a full stop, guys. Now, write a note please. And let me tell you, in the answer writing practice, I will ask you a question on gig economy. I will frame the question and tell you the question. You have to come prepared. So write a note, please. It's a sample conclusion. Please don't copy it. You create your own conclusion. Use it only when you are unable to create anything on your own. But I'm giving you a sample conclusion just to keep it as guideline. So please write. Since the proportion of gig workers are increasing, we need to establish a robust definition, a robust definition of gig workers and design a customized social security system for them to provide sustainable livelihood. Facilities should be developed. Facilities should be developed for their skilling and upskilling. For their skilling and upskilling. Skilling means if they have absolutely negligible level of skill, they are just doing some manual work. So we should provide them skills. But if I already have a skill and you want to polish my skills, that's called upskilling. Upskilling means polishing the skill, value addition. And skilling means providing skill from very basic level. So skilling is the beginning and upskilling is value addition. So we should provide arrangements to provide skilling and upskilling for the gig workers. Please put a full stop. And then write, the government should also create a regulating mechanism for an efficient framework of hiring and other work conditions related to gig workers. By the way, I have given you all the points of the conclusion. You can't write everything in the exam, so you have to select which point do you want to use in the conclusion. Don't use every point from here, it's big. Just select the point according to the question and then use it in the exam. If you can come up with something new, no problem, but that's your sample conclusion. So that's your gig. How many pages have you written on gig, guys? Please tell me. Fadafat, please tell me. On gig, how many pages? Roughly? 2.5 pages? That's a perfect answer for 15 marks or 10 marks, whatever, because there will be a lot of parts added to it. How 1.5, almost perfect. You will create some flowchart, diagram, etc. So you will see your answer is almost ready for the exam. And plus, you will see that in next 6 months to 7 months, after which you will write your mains exam, you will get more content also. So, which is very good. Now, definitely we will. Later on, your friend is asking that how to distinguish between examine, comment, etc. later on. As I told you that more training will be done later on, but first let's build some content. Because acha socho, think about it, that without having content, if I start teaching you how to handle the questions related to critically evaluate, because critical evaluation requires both the sides. So we need to learn both the sides, thoda content, and then we'll see. Don't worry. Please come back here. See, you remember yesterday I made a promise to you that whatever we are writing in the diary is not the final thing. That data book entry was just the precursor, that the detailed part is this. And I told you that I'll teach you the things in a great detail later on. That later on has come now. Because yesterday whatever I gave you was for prelims. It was only for prelims. But today what we are doing is for mains. So hence the approach will be slightly different. And you have joined the batch which is for both prelims and mains. Hence the task becomes slightly double, but efficient. Because then you will prepare for all the stages of the exam. So yesterday was prelims day, today is mains day. So now see what is mains. Now look carefully guys, this definition you cannot change. For prelims and mains nothing will change. So help me out and tell me what is the meaning of voluntary unemployment. I am writing CWS and J. Please tell me which one should I tick as correct and which one should I strike. So capability is there or not? Awesome. Capability there. Willingness? Willingness not there? This is voluntary. Absolutely. Willingness is not. I don't want to work. I want to do PhD or I want to, prepare for an exam. What about S? Searching? I'm not searching. Cool. Will I do a job? Awesome. No. And you have already written all these things yesterday. So this one you don't have to repeat. You don't have to waste your time. So only thing that you will do is convert this into literature today. So please write. Formula you have already written. Very good answer. Nice. So please write types of unemployment. Types of unemployment. And give a title, please. Types of unemployment. Please write number 1. Voluntary unemployment. Voluntary unemployment. Bacho, you are smart kids. What is the literature that we are going to write? Voluntary unemployment means, or under voluntary unemployment. Okay, under voluntary unemployment. Under voluntary unemployment. Keep writing, guys. Under voluntary unemployment, the worker is capable but unwilling to work and hence they are not searching for a job. Example, a student preparing for a competitive exam. Student preparing for a competitive exam, comma, a student pursuing higher studies. A student pursuing higher studies like MBA or PhD. Comma, a worker who has resigned from a job. Definitely, Pulkit, I'll talk about it towards the end. A worker who has resigned from the job to upgrade his or her skill. To upgrade his or her skill and return in the job market, and return to the job market in future. Right? I deliberately gave you these 3 examples because I wanted to cover 3 different aspects. 1, you are preparing for an exam, you are a young generation. So yes, you are out of this, you are voluntarily unemployed. And number 2, that you are doing your PhD, etc. You are out of the employment pool for some time. You are not saying that I will be out of the employment pool. You are definitely there, but you are saying that temporarily I am not available, I am doing something else. And third is that you understood that your promotions are not happening in a job. These days it is happening a lot. You understand that you are not being promoted, etc. Why? I have seen something in the corporate culture these days. What they want is they want you to be technically good and they also want you to take leadership roles. They want dual role from you, and that is what government also wants. So the corporate and the government these days, they say that my officers, bureaucrats or managers or these people who are running the company, they say that anybody who joins my company should be technically very sound and they should also behave like leaders, which means if you are an engineer, doctor, etc. Along with that, they say that you should also know how to run a company, how to manage people, etc., etc. So what do you do in that case? So many a times you feel promotions not happening, future scope not there, your boss is not respecting you, you withdraw. And when you withdraw, you don't start to look for a job immediately. You are not out of the job market, but you are not looking either for a job. What do you do is, instead of doing a job or looking for a job, you do something else. That's very important in voluntary. So in voluntary, what is that else that you are doing? You are skilling yourself. You are saying that I am being ready for a new job in future. So currently you are not applying, you are skilling. It's like doing a PhD. It's like doing some coursework. So you are skilling yourself. And then you are saying that I am very well there in the market. I'm not out of job market. I'm not above 60, etc. I'm not out. I am in the job. market only, but I'm trying to improve. Hence, 3 different examples. Please write next. So, involuntary unemployment. No, skill is different, studies are different. Harsh, it's completely different. For example, I can do a simple course which is, let's say, a theoretical course where I'm not acquiring any skill to perform a certain task. Skill means that it's not generic, it is task specific. So suppose that I graduate in like 7-8 subjects and I am not acquiring any specialization in anything, right? So I'm also studying masters, but in a very normal way. I'm not doing anything which provides me a specific skill to handle a task. So it is definitely education, it is definitely higher studies, but it is not oriented towards a task. So capability will increase, but not skill. Skill is different. For skill, you don't need a degree. Degree might provide you skill, degree might not provide you skill. Come back, please. Now, absolutely, market forces. Involuntary unemployment. हाँ बताइए फटाफट without wasting time, guys. CWSJ, involuntary. What to write? You will tell me. Nana, हाँ. Tell me. Capability is there. Capability, Pawan, correct. Capability there. Willingness is there. Awesome. What else? Searching is there. And job? Not there. Very nice. Job not. Brilliant. Look at you. Superb answer. So, do you agree? Do you agree? You agree? You are agreeing? There. Agreeing? PB agreeing? Sucheta agreeing? Do you agree? Do you agree? Sure? Is it right? iPad, do you agree? How, but he has made a generic statement, so what's the problem? He has not said anything after this. In structure also you find this, so big deal. Correct or incorrect? Absolutely correct. I was just trying to confuse you. Simple. It's like somebody coming in front of you and asking your name 3 times. Will you change your name? No. Simple. Right? If I ask your name, so Ayush, if I'm asking your name 3 times, what's your name, Ayush? Ayush. What's your name, Ayush? Shah Rukh Khan. No, Ayush. Don't change your name, right? So it was just on a very lighter note, I was just repeating it, right? You look here. Don't look there. Focus here, huh? You. So, right, you are school kids. Like yesterday I told you to behave like school kids, and literally you have started to behave like school kids. Right? Yes, your online friend is saying that my name is George Clooney. Right? If you would have changed your name little bit also, just if you remove the word Clooney, you would have won a Nobel Prize in physics yesterday. So, involuntary unemployment is C, yes, W, yes, S, yes, no jobs. Please write. Under it, perfect school kids, Under it, please write. Under it, the worker has capability, willingness. The worker has capability, willingness, comma, searching for the job. But doesn't get the job. Doesn't get the job. Example. A college graduate with the right skill set, is unable to get placed. Possible. Just one example. So why would it happen? I am a college graduate, I have the right skill set, I am not able to be placed. Maybe economic recession? Maybe, so it can be anything. I just gave you an example which fits many situations. But deliberately I made you write with the right skill set. Because if I remove the word right skill set, because you don't have the skill, so you're not getting the job. Deliberately I added that. It could be one of the examples. And I told you that there could be multiple types of it. So we are not getting into types currently, we are writing the broader definition. Disguised we wrote, frictional we wrote, that definition will not change. Yesterday I gave you 2 things, but today I'll give you a consolidated 1-liner, 2-liner. Please write. Disguised unemployment. disguised unemployment. Sorry? Correct. MSME solve the problem of disguised unemployment. So, but involuntary, I gave you the definition, no? Involuntary we already wrote. So, Ganya, you missed it. Where were you? You have to rewind and you have to watch. Please write disguised unemployment. Please write under it, the marginal contribution of the worker, in the output is close to zero or negligible. In other words, such workers do not add any value to the company or organization. Let's change the sequence. Next one we should write is structural unemployment. Please write first structural unemployment. These three we will do in details. Why? Because I expect this question to be asked in UPSC mains. For prelims we wrote the formula yesterday, those symbols, etc. Prelims done, but today we are doing for mains. So I believe that this and this can be asked in 10 marks or 15 marks in UPSC. We'll prepare all the three. So the first is called structural unemployment, and see what I have written, the important word from your data book, skill gap. For prelims it is fine, for mains it is not fine. In fact, for mains we'll get a 0 number here if we write this in the exam, because UPSC will feel that we are not putting hard work. That's your structural unemployment. So see, it's a big theory. Remember I taught you Lewis model in the class. Lewis model. You have to bring Lewis model in the class in talking about structure. So let me tell you how to write the same concept for your mains. For prelims, what did we say? In every textbook that you read, they will talk about structural unemployment, which means skill is not there, which is just 1% of the definition. 99% is something else. So look at what is structural unemployment, guys. Now please focus, because I'm going to tell you precisely what to write in the exam. See, this is a structural unemployment. What have we written for mains purpose? Let's read it and let's try to see what is there. Hold on, please. There is always two sides to employment. First, are the companies demanding something? Are the companies creating jobs for you? So if I am a company, look at the gesture, please. If I am a company and I am writing one notification in the newspaper, I am supplying it to newspaper and saying that, hey, I am supplying jobs. Are the people who are suitable for this job available in the market? So I am a company, I am supplying jobs. How am I supplying jobs? Supplying jobs means I am giving opportunity to the society. And now I am waiting that is the society ready to grab this opportunity which the company is providing, which means everything will have two sides, demand and supply. So a company is supplying jobs in terms of opportunity, and now I am waiting that are the workers ready to grab this opportunity? If not, there is some problem related to structures. So what is structural unemployment? See guys, structural unemployment says it occurs when there is a mismatch, that's the keyword, I'll give you dictation. When there is a mismatch, that's the keyword, between what? Supply of jobs by a company. Supply of job means opportunity is created. So I'm supplying the opportunity to the society and people available for work, which means I'm supplying the job, but people are not available. Maybe they are available, they are not suitable. So when I supply a job, I'm looking for suitable people. I'm not looking for people, but I'm looking for suitable people. I'm giving you the opportunity, nobody available. So that situation where the gap is created is actually called as a structural unemployment. It can be because of two reasons, and these are the reasons that we have to write in the exam. Reason number one, look carefully, bachcho. Reason number one is this. I have to enlarge this part. Reason number one is supply side. What is supply side? So I told you that in supply, what are we doing? The companies are writing a notification in the newspaper and they are supplying opportunities to the society. So what are we writing? Not enough jobs in high growing sectors. So I am a company, I am growing very fast. My name is Infosys. My name is Tata Consultancy Services. My name is Wipro. I am very fast, growing very fast, and I am contributing a lot to India's GDP because I am a fast growing sector. But am I creating equivalent amount of job opportunities? If you look at that equivalence in terms of job opportunities, you will not find it. Why? Because services have limitations. Service uses a lot of technology. Service does not use big machines where 20 people will work on the same machine. One machine, one laptop, one person. And in fact, these days laptops are being replaced by very nice machine learning and artificial intelligence softwares. They are replacing people also there. Which means that whenever companies are not supplying enough of opportunities, and why are they not supplying enough of opportunities? Could be n number of reasons. Maybe because I don't need people. Why don't I need people? Because I have technology. Or maybe I'm reducing the number of factories because what I was doing in 5 factories, because technology has become so good, I can do in 1 factory only. Finished. So, what is the cause of structural unemployment? Please feed this in your mind, guys. The cause of structural unemployment is, let me build the story for you. The cause of structural unemployment is that the companies are supplying opportunities, but workers who are eligible for this, who should be eligible for this, not available because they don't suit my requirements. So, I am supplying the opportunities, workers are there, but not they don't suit my requirements, so there is a gap. So that leads to structural unemployment. So what could be the reason for this? The reason for this could be, number one, it might happen that the company itself is not giving sufficient amount of opportunities. Why? Maybe the company is relying more on technology now. That could also be the case, which means the supply could be very less. And what did we say in structural unemployment? That there is a mismatch between supply and number of workers. Mismatch is there. The mismatch could be, this is companies' opportunity and this is the workers. So maybe companies are not providing opportunities because they are using more technology. So there is a mismatch because companies are not giving the opportunities. Or the mismatch could be companies are giving the opportunities, workers are not trained enough, skill. So I'm saying this is supply of opportunities and this is workers. I'm saying there is a gap. The gap could be there because this supply of opportunity could be less. The companies are saying we don't need you. We don't need people, we need machines. Or the second could be companies are saying we need people, people are not trained enough, skill gap. So the problem that there is a gap between the company's requirement and the number of people, there is a gap. The gap could be because either the companies are using more technology, so demand of labor will be less, or workers are not trained enough. 2 things. So what are we writing here? Supply side means not enough jobs in the high growing sector. Let us look at India. Let us look at the irony of India. Sorry. Agriculture, industry and services. I will give you this in your handout, by the way. This I don't expect you to make, or maybe I'll ask you to draw this in your data book, because this table you have to use in every chapter in economics. Everywhere you have to use. You have to memorize this. So I'll tell you what to memorize. So see guys, look carefully how to read this table. This is agriculture, this is industry, this is services. This is government data from CSO. Agriculture, industry and services. Look at employment and look at their contribution in national income. So what is the contribution of agriculture, currently agricultural sector in India's employment? So look at person. Person means male and female combined. So contribution of agriculture 45.8% in employment, which means currently roughly 45.8% people are engaged in agriculture sector. Contribution of industry here 12.2. When I went deeper into it, I realized that they have done some kind of mismatch of the categories. What have they done? What has PLFS done or CSO done? What CSO has done is they have taken out construction from here. And they have taken out the mining and quarrying part. They have said, no, that we can't call an industry. They have only taken manufacturing here. That's why the number is less. So whatever government of India did to to manage some figures in the budget and survey, the CSO has said, no, we will not go by that. They have taken it out. And what they have done is they are saying, no, this is employment, so we can't fudge the figures, we can't manipulate the figures, it has to be real figures. So what have they done? Construction they have taken out and they have said, no, construction is service. Similarly, they have removed mining and quarrying and they have said, That is gone. So what have they done? They have taken industry in the sense of manufacturing, because actually real industry is manufacturing only. So what is the contribution of manufacturing currently in the employment? 12.2%. Very less, very less. And what is the contribution of services? 41.9. Why does service look swelled up? Because you included construction here. Currently the contribution of construction is roughly 13.5% in employment. 13.5. So 14% of India's workforce, 14%, total 14% of the people in India, they work in construction. So since construction has been added here, so it looks huge. That's the thing. Now look at the contribution of these sectors in national income. Contribution of agriculture roughly 15%. Contribution of manufacturing roughly 21%. Contribution of services 63.3%. So which sector can you call as a fast growing sector? Services, because of the monetary contribution. They are generating so much of wealth. Now, which sector do you see that is also contributing decently in terms of GDP currently? Industries. Decent. But look at the proportionate contribution in employment. In national income, contribution is roughly 21. But in terms of employment, it is 12. Gap. In terms of fast growing sectors, services are contributing 63% currently. Contribution in employment 42. Gap. Here, this sector is not contributing much. In terms of money, people are dependent. It looks very weird. Ideally, what happens in a society? As your agriculture sector contribution goes down, your dependence of people on agriculture also goes down. And people move from agriculture to industry, industry to services. That's your Lewis model. But what has happened in India? This bridge was not created, so people got stuck here. And those who moved here, they remained there. So now the government of India is saying, in fact, government is saying it in a very mild tone, but we will be very loud about it. So what is the problem in India? What did I tell you? That why does the structural unemployment happen? Structural unemployment happens, focus on the part which I am teaching you first. Structural, because in the exam, marks will be given for this part only, this language only. So why does structural unemployment happens? Feed it in your mind, please. Structural unemployment happens because there is a gap between supply of job opportunities by companies, supply, and availability of the workers. So companies supplying opportunities and availability of workers, there is a gap. The gap can happen because the number of opportunities provided by the companies is less. And why less opportunities are provided by the company? Because in India we have seen that the maximum growth sectors, which are the growth sectors, the growth sector is service. Service sector is the highest growing sector in India, and we know service cannot create job opportunities beyond a limit. Because there is a limit beyond which service finds it's very difficult to give jobs. So I have one laptop, how many people will work on that laptop? One, maybe one assistant, and that's it. So service sector has a limit beyond which it cannot create jobs, because ultimately service sector will involve sophisticated technology in future. And a lot of people would be replaced by technology. So what is happening these days? These opportunities created by service sector is less. So our high growing sectors are not creating opportunities. Another sector which is not high growing, people are dependent on them. And there is no way you can jump from here to here. There is also a problem. So the question that will be asked in UPSC, it has already been asked, is why structural unemployment happens in India? So one of the answers could be, and that answer you have to write in the exam, is that supply side is a problem. Why? Not enough of jobs is available in the high growing sector, because India almost jumped from agriculture to services. And when you jump from here to here, you didn't create a bridge. Hence, people are unable to move in between. Either you are in agriculture or you are here, and wherever you are stuck. And this is the reason that disguised unemployment also happened here. So most of the people you see here are not contributing, they are disguised. And this is very weak. This says, service says, I don't have more job opportunities, I am done. This is the problem number one. Problem number two. Look at problem number 2, demand side. So first I told you, companies don't want people. Why companies don't want people? Because India mostly depends on service, and service says I have a limit. Now let's come to the people itself, which means I am a worker, I will demand job. But why am I not getting job despite the fact that I am demanding? So I am not getting job because there is a skill gap. In India, if you look at the workforce of India, labor force of India, less than 5% have certified skill, formal skill. So first is a skill gap. The second problem is employability of youth. There is a report which was released called as National Skill Report 2024. National Skill Report 2024. It is written in that report that skill gap in India, less than 5% is the current formal skill. Hence, there is a huge skill gap. Companies are saying, I need people, but people are here. They don't have the skill to match up. Skill gap. So that's number 1. Number 2, employability. I have the skill, but I don't have the right skills. I know a language which is good for softwares, but the company says I need another language. I know another language, not good enough. That's the second problem. So which means that roughly employability of youth in India is roughly 52%, which means only 52% of the people in India having skill are employable. Remaining 48% have skill which is not required by the industry. Industry says your skill is too redundant, it is too basic, I don't require it, it is outdated. So hardly 52% youth of India have the skill which is relevant. Hence, half of the youth in India who possess a skill is useless. So that's why we said only half of the youth of India is eligible for any skill related jobs. That's a big problem. Next is 60 to 70% shortage in machine learning and data scientists. Wow. India is a country known for its software, service industry. When you go to these companies who are coming from abroad, or the companies who are establishing themselves related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analysis, you see that if they require 100 workers, hardly 30 workers are available, 40 workers available, 60 workers not available, position unfilled. So what did the son of Mr. Narayan Murthy, Mr. Rohan Murthy do? He established his artificial intelligence company in MIT in USA. He did not establish his company in India because he said, I'm not getting the workers in India, they are not trained. So he established his company in MIT. There is a big building for Infosys where he is running his lab on AI. So that's one of the reasons. And next one is weak industry academia linkages, which means that I'm a young generation guy, I'm a youth, I have some skill. I'm applying for job, constantly rejected because they say you don't know ML, machine learning, you have no idea. Now imagine that if there would have been some institute which would have been talking to, so I'm an engineer, if my college would have been talking to Infosys, Wipro, etc., and they would have got this idea from them that train your students in every branch of engineering, at least in machine learning and data, everybody would become at least employable in that sense. But the companies and the institutes in India, they hardly coordinate with each other, big ego issues, etc., in the name of autonomy and all those things. Big politics also plays. So there is a problem here also. So now if you look at the entire picture, see how beautiful the picture emerges to be. Now if somebody will tell you after today that, beta, tell us what is the meaning of structural unemployment, straight away you will close your eyes and say structural employment means that there is a gap between the supply of opportunities and the workers available, gap. Then you will say this gap can be there because maybe the companies who are growing very fast, like service companies, they don't require people. So down, gap. Or on the other side, you might say the workers who are available, they don't have the skill, they are not employable, right? Industry academia partnership is not there. So jobs are there, but the workers are here, they are not suitable. These two problems could be there. Right. So this is also the case. By the way, what is this skill gap? Skill gap means out of the entire labor force of India. And you understand that the labor force age group is 15 to 59. That's your labor force. So that is less than 5% skill. Employability of youth. Youth ka age is 15 to 29 years. So this is only about the people who are in the age group of 15 to 29. So suppose in the age group of 15 to 29, there are 30 crore youth in India, 30 crore youth. So this 52% is 52% of 30 crore because I have used the word youth here, and youth in India is defined as 15 to 29 years. Some countries define youth as 15 to 24 also, but in India we define youth as 15 to 29. And sometimes the government of India says 15 to 35 is also youth during election rallies, just to make you feel good. And sometimes the government also says 50 is the new 30, right? Just to make us feel good. But we know that 50 is not new 30. Right, so these are the things that will happen because guys, you are currently, let's say around 20, between 20 to 30, 20, 21, 25, 30, etc., etc. This brilliant phase of your life will never come back. So along with your studies, etc., if you feel that you want to pursue some hobby and all, just sidekicks, it makes you feel happy, keep doing it. Because you have no idea that if you do something for your happiness for 5 minutes, that fuels your power inside, it helps you to do your main job also for 10 hours. So that 5 minutes are very important. So don't sacrifice on those 5 minutes. If you feel you like writing, write it. If you feel that you want to listen to songs, do it. If you feel that you want to stalk people, you want to follow people, just interaction with people, do it. Don't stalk. Right? If you want to watch people in a positive way, don't go to cafes and start, acha, you are there. You look like a kidnapper then, don't do that. So if you want to talk to people, go out in bookstores, roam around, etc. If you want to sleep also, sleep, no problem. If that's your hobby, you can do that also, 5 minutes. Right? So that's your structural unemployment. Ab dekh rahe ho bachcho? So imagine that if you get a question in the exam which says structural unemployment, you end up writing, the skill gap is structural unemployment. UPSC will say, you also have skill gap. Because you don't know the definition. You have to be very careful in the exam, guys. Mains is a different game. Prelims is a different game. Are you seeing the difference? That's why yesterday I was not telling you all this. Because to tell you all this requires a certain base. Unless that base is there, we can't learn all this. So now the base is ready. Now you understand why Lewis model first. Without Lewis model, how will I teach you this? So hence, there is a certain way we are following and we will follow that model only. Please write. Define structural unemployment. We have written it already. The title? Right. So one of my friends is saying, sir, please don't encourage struggling with schedule. Right. But I said 5 minutes. So only 5 minutes of your hobby. Structural unemployment. Please write that it is a situation. What is structural unemployment? Please write. Or define structural unemployment. Or what is structural unemployment? Define structural unemployment or what is structural unemployment, full stop. Discuss the factors behind it. Discuss the factors behind it. Discuss the factors behind it. Let's write. Write the short form now, guys, just to save time. SUE, structural unemployment. Let's write. SUE, structural unemployment is a situation when there is a mismatch between supply of jobs and people available for work supply of jobs and people available for work. It occurs because of two factors. Number one, please write. Supply side factor. In this situation, which means supply side factor, in this situation, enough jobs are not created in high growing sectors. Example, India did not follow Lewis model. in India, services are the fastest growing. Services are the fastest growing sector. Services are the fastest growing sector, but because of constant development of disruptive technology, because of constant development of disruptive technology like AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, the employment generation potential of technology oriented services are limited. On the other hand, the agriculture sector is not growing very fast, but the dependency of people on agriculture is still very high. In the bracket, around 46%, close the bracket. We observe disguised unemployment in agriculture. So what have we said? Guys, see, we wrote a sophisticated language basically, we wrote something sophisticated. We said that services are of two types. One service is health service and educational service. There the employment can be created. But what did we write in our dictation? We said in technology oriented services which require a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning, the scope of employment is very minimum. They grow very fast, but they don't demand too many workers. Hence what is happening in India, we are waiting that one day my Infosys will call me. They will never call me. Why? Because they are using machine learning, they are using artificial intelligence. So since they are not going to call me, opportunities will not be created. I'll keep on waiting that, yeah, one day you call. They will never call. That's what we are writing. Now in the exam, you can't draw this table, not possible. So what should you do in the exam? In the exam, you should do a jugaad. What is the jugaad? The jugaad is that you should write here Fadafat, agriculture, industry and services, three things. You do it please, with me only. In your notebook only. For data book, I'll give you separate entry. But in your notebook, in the answer which you are writing, you should do this in the dictation part. Absolutely, Priyanka. I was going to say this only, but later on. Now, this is employment and this is GDP. That is what you should write. Ab dekho how to fit it, fadafat we can write it. Roughly around, let's say 45.8, 12.2, 41.9, and you have 15.3, 21.4 and 63.3, and all this in percentage. This is what you do in your notebook and you memorize this. You can convert it into round figures, not an issue, but you please memorize this table. It will really help you in your mains exam. You can excel in your mains if you memorize this. Hardly anything will change in India in 1 year. Nothing will change. This 45 will become 46, that's it, or 44, that's it. Write it please. So if you memorize, no, you can change the data next year. So what are we saying? We are saying that this is the fastest growing sector, but employment opportunities are not supposed to grow beyond this. This is saturation. This is the sector where disguised unemployment is happening. What to do? Yes, yes. According to economic survey, data changes, but I'm not using survey currently. I'm using NSO. Source is PLFS because I'm teaching you employment, so other data. So forget about economic survey for some time. Focus on this part. Now you please write number 2, demand side. Demand side. Are you also understanding one problem in India, which I was telling you? So many sources of data. Everybody gives a different figure. Like I told you, the contribution of manufacturing in India's GDP is roughly 17%, 15 to 17. This year 17%. Look at PLFS. What is it saying? 21.4. 21.4%. Which calculation? But they have taken it out. Public utility is 2%. So even if you take 15 plus 2, it doesn't become 21.4. So it doesn't fit because there is some gap there. So but ठीक है, what to do? I don't know which data they are using because I just took it from PLFS and CSO. Okay, let's come to demand side. So in India, data cannot be trusted fully. Some problems. So please write demand side.
Sir, isn't PLFS collected by NSO? Not by CSO.
Oh. You did not watch all my videos. You have not watched my video, right? Because if you watched my videos, then in today's test, you'd be able to fill this table.
Sir, that I know कि NSO has NSSO and CSO.
Yes. And?
NSSO collects the PLFS data.
And no. This is not that only data because here you have GDP data also, no? So you missed this part. Be careful. That's why there is a comma and there are two things mentioned. Okay. That's what I was wondering, that how come you are making this mistake? All right, cool. Because for a second, heartbeat raised. Because then I realized that, okay, NSO and NSSO and CSO, how can this mistake happen in my class, right? Then I would have not been able to sleep properly tonight. I'm telling you, all these things happen to faculties. When we teach and if you make these kind of mistakes, it's not your mistake. We take it upon ourselves, right? What did I do? What did I teach? Thank you so much for clarifying. So guys, there are two things here. One is employment, one is GDP, and the agencies are different. So I have mentioned two agencies here. Now it's fine, and this was your test, by the way. Okay, let's complete this and then write the test. So please write demand side. Okay, that structural unemployment also occurs because of skill gap, which leads to lack of employability, India specifically faces this issue. Now about India, okay? India specifically faces this issue as mentioned in National Skill Report, 2024. Please write bullet point number 1. Bullet point number 1, guys. Skill gap. You just copy it as it is, okay? It will help you. So please write all this. This we have to write as it is in UPSC mains. We can't explain this in mains. This is good enough for mains. Because we already wrote 2 lines of explanation, which I dictated just now, that structural unemployment also happens because of skill gap, which leads to lack of employability. And then we said that India specifically suffers from this problem. And then we are writing these 4 points. Rajan, okay? India specifically suffers from this problem as mentioned in the National Skill Report 2024. And then we are writing these 4 points. Absolutely. All the 4 points in the demand side. By the way, let me tell you one more thing. Just keep it in mind, you are my students. Whenever something has two sides, demand and supply, UPSC would hunt for that point, that whether you have used the word demand and supply or not. If you don't use the word demand and supply, UPSC will not be happy. UPSC will say, beta, you have not studied properly. So you have to use demand and supply. Is it fine? Cool. Now let's write the test. So guys, please open your test paper. And let me see if I also have the test paper. Sure. Definitely, Pankaj, please ask. And Pulkit, yes, I'll talk about it. So can you please put it down? So guys, please solve these questions. The question paper is in front of you. Start solving, please. And you have exactly 1 minute to solve. 10 minutes. I have a question regarding yesterday's lecture. Please, Pankaj, please ask. Pulkit, what have you mentioned? Let me answer Pankaj what he asked and answer. We have studied that labor force is between 15 to 50. My question is, people who work after 50 and people like politicians also contribute economically, why not? They can be counted, but Pankaj, what is happening is that is an exception. That's a separate thing, because suppose that you have completed biologically. So what they say is, if you have completed 59, your body reflexes, etc., it slows down. If you talk to anybody who's an expert in body mechanism, metabolism, they'll tell you. So in that sense, what they have done is, they are saying that there are many limitations physically which comes into your body, etc. So they have fixed this year 15 to 59 as the most active phase of, you have the paper? 15 to 59 as the most active phase of your work. That's the reason. So yes, they are counted, but in a different way. Similarly, if you talk about Divyangs, there is a certain level of disability. So if you have a disability of less than 40%, etc., then it is not counted as inhibition to work. You can be in the workforce. But if it's more than 40%, then they say that conventionally they will not count you in workforce. So there's some borderline exceptional cases. What has Pulkit asked? So Pankaj, I hope that this answer you got. Pulkit, India is following K-shaped trajectory, which are getting what measures can be taken? Will capture. Ari Baba, what have you asked, Pulkit? Pulkit, we will do all these things in GDP, GNP, we will see. Because there is some time before we reach there. We are taking the topics one by one and we'll do it that way. Just life cycle subject to matter. Absolutely correct, Pankaj. It's biology, life cycle, body mechanism. Harsh, you have been very quiet today. All okay? Emotionally fine? Very nice. An iPad, I hope that you are on medication, proper medication. Good. Medication is required, rest is required. I want you to recover before the next topic, so that next topic we can meet in the class. Medication over, very nice. Only rest, good. And Suganya, also for you, whenever possible, do come to the class also. It's good to see you around. And if you are busy or travel time is more, then online, no problem. MS, you are also very quiet today. All okay? Understanding the topic? Very nice. Who is there on camera for the first time? I think PB, you don't come on camera too often, but today you are. Hope you are understanding the topic well. No problem, no problem. Oh, there are two PBs. One is PBR, one is PBS. So PBR, your camera is not working. PBS, I can see you. Solve the paper, guys. Done? Could you answer all the questions? Cool. Could you fill this table? Filled? दिखाइए. Good. You should write the ministry also. So whenever you write the department, you should write the ministry also. Right? Your friend is saying that table was not done in the class. Right? I don't know which class are you talking about. Because the class where I am teaching economics, we did that. Open your data book and read. Entire dictation of the table was given to you, remember? In your data book. Are you finding it difficult? Because this is your second lecture, third lecture only. You might not have done the videos, no? Okay, but don't worry. If you watch the videos, this weekend you have got time. So you can easily do it. But promise me that you will complete all the videos. It has no correction with what I am doing today and next lecture. But if you do it, it's good. And those of you who have missed the videos, try to do it over this weekend. Done already? Yes. What speed did you do? 1.5? 1.5. Even though that's an insult, but it's okay. Positive one. This is the other side of the interactive sessions. In the interactive sessions, if you watch it online, you have to increase the speed. But it's a monologue, then you don't have to. LFPR, do we write? Yeah. You have to write LFPR. Question number 10. Question number 6. Let me check the options. क्या हो गया? Some problem? Answer is 1 and 3. Read it again, you will find the answer. Think about it. Yes. Pawan, we have not done VAT. We have actually, we will do it under taxation. Done? Okay, cool. Now, how to evaluate this? To evaluate this, you will have to do two things. One, I have literally dictated this table. I remember deliberately I dictated this. Most welcome. In your data book, I gave you a dictation of this in one of the lectures. I remember entire thing was dictated to you. So you have to check your data book and find out whether you have written exactly like this, which means you have to write the department, you have to write the ministry, you have to write everything that is mentioned there, because UPSC can ask you anything, right? So this is one important thing, number one. So you match it with what you have written. Today I'm not going to collect it because today was the first, but I'm telling you I'll make you write this every day. And any random day I will pick your test paper like this and I'll say that I want to read. Because I know the mistake that you would have made today, and I very well know what mistake. Mistake would be in WPI, you would have written DPIIT. And you would not have written the name of ministry, and you would not have written Office of Economic Advice. I know for sure. So, in the next class, when I give you the same table to fill in the class, you please write everything that is mentioned. I know this is very kiddish, but for examination, this is required. Whatever is required, we'll do it. So this thing we'll do in the class. I want you to be a pro in this. That's number one. Number two, I told you some formulas in the class like LFPR, etc. So here you have to fill this. I know you would have filled it correctly. There is no problem. And here you can see labor force. I know that in labor force you would have written employed plus unemployed. But I want you to expand it. And I want you to write employed plus unemployed, matlab involuntary unemployed. I want you to expand it like that. Employed plus unemployed is equal to employed plus involuntary unemployed, because there is a specific one. And then if possible, you also convert it into CWS. I want that also from you, because you are my students, you should be a pro in this. So in the next test when you write, you make sure that you write everything that you know about the formula. You have to get used to it. So CWS, because I could see you have not written CWS. So you have to write CWS also here. That's number one. Then about these questions, I can tell you the answer like I do every time and I can discuss it, but today I won't. I want you guys to think over it. If you are stuck in some point, see, capacity building also has to happen. So this answer I will discuss on Monday. So what you do is you have a weekend, a Friday, this Friday I am not taking a class. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you please study, and then Monday and next week I am going to take a class on Friday. But this week no, this week you have time because many of you joined the session, you please complete the videos. And wherever there is any lacuna, you please complete and then you come back on Monday, come back strong so that we can march on from there. If your basics are strong, no, then class will become different, class level will increase. And I know that you guys have the potential to do it. You gave the glimpse yesterday, I could see that. Because in technical things you were comfortable, I was so happy. So you please do these questions once more and then on Monday when you come back, if you tell me that, sir, understood everything, I'll be the happiest person. If you tell me 1 or 2 doubts also, then also I'll be happy. But if you tell me that more than 3 questions you are not able to solve, that means more revision is required. This is your first real test. So in this, I want you guys to tell me on Monday that hardly, there should be no doubt. And if there is doubt, hardly 1 or 2. But if the number of doubts are more than 2, it simply means more revision is required. There is no other problem. So you please revise everything. You have a long weekend, right? So 3 days we have got, you complete everything, meet me on Monday and next lecture we march on. Tell me, all okay?
Yes, sir.
All fine? Are you okay? Cool. Every MCQ solved, very nice. So but on Monday when I tell you the answer, then you match it. Especially the last one. Think about it, you will get it done. Alright, cool. So guys, good day and see you on Monday. Tomorrow you might get that video which I have given to Wajiram GS students, the GS batches this year. I have given them one video which is I think 1 hour 15 minutes or something. So there is that video which I will try to tell Wajiram to give the access to you tomorrow itself. Check the video, watch it at your own pace whenever you want, bedtime, etc. So just watch it at your own pace. Alright? And then let me know on Monday how you felt about the video. So yes, please ask which question, Sucheta. So thank you so much guys. Use your time effectively. Study economics only at night, half an hour, and that's it.